Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on an extra special episode of Crime and Sports. This is part one of it's either going to be 2 or 3 parts. I haven't figured it out yet, but it could very easily be 3 parts on Mike Tyson. And the reason is because you'd say, oh, we've done 272 episodes and we haven't done like a back-to-back 2-parter. Anybody we've talked about twice has been spaced out over time and more shit's happened. But nobody that we've discussed has been under this level of a microscope for as long as this person has. Every movement this man has made and everything he said and everything he's done has been well documented since 1986. That's 35 years.
Almost 40 years of Mike Tyson.
And he's never out of the spotlight for a minute in that whole time. Well, the only person that's had that level of like microscopic following so far is Tanya Harding, but that was only for a short time. So that didn't take, we don't need that many episodes. And like OJ for the trial part, but we didn't really talk about that trial that much in that episode. So this is the most. So we'll get into it. Mike Tyson, part 1 today. Before we do that, quickly, just want to thank, first of all, everybody for your reviews this week. We don't know why they help, but they do. So whatever app or platform you're listening on, please give us as many stars as it allows and say that you like it. And thank you for doing that. It does help the show. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Get all of your merchandise and all of your good stuff like that. If something crazy happens on the show, we guarantee you there's a T-shirt and a backpack and a mug and a shower curtain and all sorts of shit. We're not even kidding. All of those things are available. So,
thermos and a pail.
You can do that. Yeah, thermos and that's what you do. One of those little kids' beach sets. A little
we
pail.
Should make those.
Little
those
rake.
Are genius.
Yeah, those are good stuff. All come in that netted thing. So, you know what I'm saying? For like $3.99. So, get all of that stuff. Get your netted beach sand kit and enjoy. Number 1, though, thing you need to do the most, head over this week to patreon.com/crimeinsports. Ooh, boy, do we have some wild ones this week. First of all, and by the way, anybody over the $5 level or $5 or above, you get access to everything. Small Town Murders bonus, Crime and Sports bonus, all the back catalog, everything that we come out with bonus-wise you're going to get for that price. So we do that. This week, the 2 episodes are amazing. First of all, Crime and Sports, we're doing we do about twice a year. Personal ads are back.
Yes.
It's been about 6 months. We are going to do personal ads again, which is a favorite among the Patreon listeners. They love the personal ads and request them a lot.
How can we make this one different, James?
Well, first of all, they're all different and hilarious. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, Jim, we're going to write each other's personal ads as well. At the end of the episode I will write a personal ad for Jimmie, and Jimmie will write a personal ad for me. And that's what we're going to do, just to see how funny that would be.
I can't wait to find the single letters combination that describes you.
I know, it's going to be difficult to encompass Jimmie in a paragraph, but I'm going to do it, damn it, and I'm going to make it attractive as well. So we're going to do that. And then for Small Town Murders, something everybody here would probably be interested in as well. Holy shit, this is some awesome stuff. The Amazon documentary Lula Rich on the LuLaRoe multi-level marketing disaster that happened. Well, I watched that, and I'm really into cults and language of cults and the way multi-level marketing fits into all that at the moment. So we're going to do an episode on kind of how that documentary and that whole section and segment of the multi-level marketing thing how that compares to a cult, because it's insanely, it's so amazingly close. You're going to really be shocked by it. So check that out. It's going to be amazing. Patreon.com/crimeinsports right now. And you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show.
Oh, you bet.
God damn it, you're appreciated.
Yeah.
So to show that, Jimmie will mispronounce your name while trying desperately to pronounce it correctly. And in addition to that, if you just want the shout out and great karma and our undying affection, you can also make a donation on PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Thank you, by the way. Every dime anybody does, anything anybody does for us, any review, it's insanely appreciated. Thank you for going out of your way for us. That said, we have gone out of our way for you this week. This is a lot, Jimmie. This took my sleep away. It's just so much that I'm like, there's no time for sleep. We have to talk about Mike Tyson, part 1, and this is going to be right through kind of the end of 1990. And you'd go, wow.
You could call these different parts, James. You call this one Kid Dynamite, and the next one call it Iron Mike.
Call it Iron Mike, and then the baddest man on the planet for part 3. We'll break it down into his different nicknames. Let's get right to it. Mike Tyson, Michael Gerard Tyson. Gerard, which is not a tough name.
That's adorable.
Do you know any tough Gerards?
Never.
I've never.
Butler, I guess.
Is he tough, though? He's an actor. We don't know if he's tough. He plays a tough guy, but that doesn't mean he's tough.
He's got muscles.
Sylvester Stallone can beat up Mr. T in a movie. That doesn't mean Mr. T wouldn't have whooped his ass in real life. You know? It's like Eddie Murphy said in Raw. He's like, yeah, in the movie, they write it down, I'll whoop your ass. But in real life, I'm like 140 pounds.
Depardieu's kind of a pussy, too. So, yeah.
Yeah, Gerard, so he's kind of I don't know. I'm not going to parse Gerards. I'm sure there's tough Gerards out there and whatever. But I just don't know any. I've known 2. And I don't know if they're tough. So there you go. Better known as Iron Mike Tyson, of course. Kind of my favorite of the nicknames is Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike, it just sounds great.
Good.
Iron Mike
Kid
Tyson.
Dynamite, though. But he's not a kid anymore, so...
Kid Dynamite was great when he was 18 years old. That was awesome. But then once he was like 25 and he'd like had a public divorce and he's got like a rape trial under his belt. At that point, Kid Dynamite seems a little silly, I feel like, and maybe we could bring it to something different.
Yeah.
Just a thought. But and then also, obviously, he was known as the baddest man on the planet for a long time. That was his branding. So all of his nicknames are like good nicknames. None of them are like...
They are. He didn't take a cheesy piece of shit.
Well, I mean, none of them, like, he didn't, like, after time be known as, like, the, fat slob who used to be tough or something. That wasn't, he always remained having a good nickname, and they still call him.
He also didn't resort to, like, rhymes and shit like that.
No, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's silly.
Puns. It's
because you don't need it.
Yeah.
Iron is good enough. He's going to beat your goddamn ass. He's going to pummel you. With fists of iron.
Hook. Yeah.
That's it. Fists of iron. So he is born June 30th, 1966, Mr. Mike, and he is born in Brownsville, Brooklyn. He is Brownsville through and through, and Brownsville, for him growing up in the 70s and the early 80s, we're talking fucking bad. I mean, this shit is dangerous. This is getting real bad.
Brownsville's over by Queens, right?
It's Brownsville's by Queens. I don't know exactly where Brownsville is.
Is it in Queens?
No, Brownsville's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. All right.
Yeah. Brownsville's a section of Brooklyn. I'm trying to think of exactly where it is. I think it's over... Fuck, I don't know. Brooklyn's crooked, so I'm looking at it sideways.
I think it's near that the western portion. What's that western portion?
No, the western portion is on the river. That's where you got like Greenpoint and Williamsburg and all
I think
that
it's
shit.
near Williamsburg.
It'd be over. It'd be more in though because it's I think it's south of there possibly. This is ridiculous.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm literally looking at a sideways map in my brain of Brooklyn and I'm like, fuck, I'm trying to turn it up
but it's in Brooklyn because I was trying to see like what borough. Yeah.
It was absolutely terrible. And right now, I'm not sure about Brownsville, but Brownsville was terrible in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was bad shit. And then a lot of Brooklyn has changed now to not what it used to be. It used to be like all just, crack houses basically. And now there's like 6'2" Ukrainian models walking around because it's all hipsters and shit now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's really weird. Brooklyn is strange. You're like, what happened? Oh, this is weird. The only thing in New York that's like gentrification proof is the South Bronx. It will never It will never give in.
It refuses.
It refuses. It will never. They build $1.5 billion stadium right here, and they're like, nope, we're still gonna not happening. Which I love. Fucking resist that shit. I like it. Don't turn it into Disneyland, please. Don't turn it into Times Square Part 2. So he's from Brownsville. He's the third of 3 kids. Mm-hmm. So he's the youngest. His older brother, Rodney, is 5 years older than him. And then his sister, Denise, is 2 years older than him. Okay. And he'll always have a close relationship with Denise. That's his kind of closest family member, I guess, because they're only 2 years apart.
Yeah, that age difference is, I mean, they were going through the same shit at the same time.
And she's sick her whole life, too.
Oh, my
She's
God.
got health problems always in her entire young life, like even as a small child. So I think Mike has a special place in his heart for his sister, Denise. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Now, this I can't explain. And see if you can help me here. His mom's name, Lorna Smith.
Yeah.
Fair. His dad's name, Jimmie Kirkpatrick. Now, besides that sounding like an Irish patrol officer in like 1963,
right.
He's not an Irish patrolman, but he sounds like one. Jimmie Kirkpatrick. Neither of those people's names are Tyson, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, what the fuck is happening?
I don't know where Tyson came from. I don't know why his name is Tyson, because neither person is named Tyson.
He was born Mike Tyson?
I suppose. Yeah, that's what I've gotten so far, and I don't know. We'll check on. I'll look deeper into that, and on part 2, if I can figure out an answer, I'll let you guys know in part 2. But yeah, neither one is named Tyson. His dad leaves very early, like pre 2 years old. His dad's out of there, so not a lot of structure in the house. He said his mom was a single mom. His mom also had some problems, which didn't help. His mom's got drug problems, alcohol problems. 3 kids.
Brownsville.
She's got Brownsville on her brain is what's going on, and that's the problem. She's living in a terrible environment, struggling with 3 kids after dad left it. When the youngest is a year old. So it's just a tough time at this point. So things are hard for Mike growing up, as you might imagine. At 8 years old, by 8, he's already hanging out with like older kids in the neighborhood. And, being like older kids use him to do things, basically. Yeah. Go steal that, and he'll go do it because he wants to belong. Right. So he'd go do it, and then they'd be like, awesome. And then that,
even though
that's what he got out of it.
Drugs, James, they showed a young brother love. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's
a Tupac lyric.
I know that. And I guess Mike is like Kennard on The Wire, I guess you could say. Like that would be the best way of putting it, I'm talking. The one that was like setting a cat on fire at one point and and killed Omar.
Ending the greatest character in modern day TV.
That's how I feel Mike is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's running the streets. Mom's not paying attention. Dad's not there. He's getting into a shitload of trouble. He said as a kid, he said his mom led him down the road of drugs and alcohol by giving him booze and drugs pre 10 years old.
Oh,
he had smoked weed, he had drank, he had done shit like that pre 10 years old. He's just allowed to do anything. He was living like an adult at 9, which is that's not good for you. It's just not. He first tried cocaine at 11.
Oh boy.
Is that a record for crime in sports? I think it might be. We've heard like 13, 12. I don't know if we've had 11. That's like,
11.
You don't even have pubes yet. Like that's you can't fucking do cocaine pre-puberty, right?
No.
That's ridiculous. I feel like it's too early.
And what year is that?
1977.
Yeah, that's far too young.
That's really, really young. I mean, it is the late 70s, which are a mess anyway, but still, that's like not 11-year-olds doing cocaine kind of a mess. That's not your average situation, I don't think, at that moment in time. At least I hope not. I mean, fuck.
That's dangerous. Very dangerous.
11, Jesus Christ. He said that, this is wild. He said he was 200 pounds by the time he was 12 years old. He's basically, at 12, he's kind of almost the size he is now at 12.
So he was just a chubby kid?
He was huge. Plus, he was 5'10", at 12. Yeah. So he was just a big son of a bitch. He was so big, everybody thought he was going to be like 7 feet tall. because he was so tall. They're like, Mike's going to be 7 feet tall. And he just stopped growing.
And then at 13, he quit.
He just quit growing. But this is wild. This is a quote from him. This is from a recent quote from a podcast here. Quote, I must have had 3 or 4 street fights a day from like age 9. I was 200 pounds at age 12.
Whoa.
I was fighting the kid, then fighting their fathers. They were crying, went home and got their father, then I would fight their father.
Holy shit.
That's a quote right there.
That makes all the sense why he can just throttle adults.
Yeah.
So easily. Because he's been doing it for years.
For years. He's been fighting, and it's not a big deal for him to fight. He's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to hurt, and he's not afraid to inflict damage. Those are 3 things that people have.
Yeah, but there's a difference between fighting a child when you're a child and fighting a fucking adult.
Like when we were watching AP Bio, and he's like, I will physically hurt you with my adult muscles.
Right.
You go, yes, that's what it is. This isn't the case here.
Can't do that with Mike Tyson.
No, you got him, and Jesus, a 12-year-old just kicked my ass. That's a really bad day for an adult.
That's tough to go home and get your wounds licked. That's not easy.
It'd be like, it was him and his dad and his uncle and his older brothers were there. There was 8, 9 of them. I don't know what happened.
A kid and his whole goddamn family.
Shit. And by the way, I will not be doing a Mike Tyson impression every time I have a quote from him, just because I'm not. We're not doing that. It's too much.
I like that.
It's too much, and we're going to pick on him plenty. We don't need to pick on the way he talks. He can't help that. So let's pick on the things he can help, okay? Not the things that are, nature bestowed upon him. So now he's angry. Very angry, obviously. As someone who'll kick a kid's ass and then wait there for the dad is an angry fucking youth.
Yeah.
It's an angry kid. I was an angry kid, but not that angry. I wasn't like, where's your dad, bitch? That wasn't my... Go home and get your dad. Tell him to come fucking get some. I've never said that to anybody.
No.
As a fucking 12-year-old.
I ran away basking in any sort of glory that I had.
And I used to enjoy...
get home.
I used to enjoy a fight, too. I liked fighting at that age, but not the father. I didn't want to fight anybody's father. Never crossed my mind.
Right.
Jesus Christ. So now he does say this. This is a good reason for his anger. Number one, he's obviously pretty neglected, that sucks. And he's poor, which there's a lot of anger that's going to come from that, as we know, both being in a kind of a feral, poor environment in different times in our life.
But latchkey is a different kind of life.
Yeah, this is different.
Yeah. Latchkey life in the 70s in New York City and Brownsville is entirely different than latchkey suburban Phoenix.
Plus, you knew Mom was going to come home at some point. That night. Mom gets off at 6. She'll be home at 6. Mom's out doing God knows what. Who knows when the fuck she'll be home. That's a different type of thing. And he also said this. This is tough. Quote, well, I don't like to talk about that. I like to keep that where it was in the past, but I was molested as a child. Mike said that recently. He said he was grabbed by a stranger and taken into a building. That's all he would say.
Oh, my God.
He had to be at an age... Because at 12, he's beating the shit out of people's fathers. Nobody's fucking touching. Nobody's trying to molest him at 12. And if they do, they're going to fucking pay for it. I don't think they're going to get away with that shit. He's going to fight furiously. But this had to be
8, huh?
This is that young. He got pulled into a building by a stranger, and he wouldn't elaborate on what exactly happened to him, which, hey, I understand that completely.
It's fascinating that he calls it molested, though, because that's not... I imagine what happened was certainly a much more abrasive word.
And we don't know. Well, we don't know that. I mean, he could have, but whatever happened is horrible, and that's what he's comfortable saying. So, I mean, that's up to him, I guess. However he wants to put it is. However,
I want to hear more about this, Mike.
Yeah, I do, and I don't at the same time.
Right?
It's like I feel terrible about it. He said that it made me have to be tough for the world I lived in. So this is what he said put him on the path. And then when you go home and there's nobody even there to tell or to help, or someone's unreliable, and that's tough, man. It's really tough. By 13, he had been arrested, or late 12. By the time he's like late 12, 1978, he'd been arrested 38 times for petty crimes.
Christ.
Again, a crime in sports record. By 12, he set 2 crime in sports records for earliest cocaine use and most arrests before middle school. That's fucking
38.
insane. 38 for petty shit, stealing, vandalism, little whatever dumb shit that kids don't get sent away for, that they get sent home for or whatever. And now he also, his mom was there for him for this type of shit. His mom wasn't all, she just had her problems too, but she was trying to be a good mom. I think she was just in a really terrible situation.
Yeah.
Almost an impossible situation. So, I can't.
Trying to make your bills and make ends meet when you've got nobody as a teammate to help you, and you've got all these mouths to feed in New York City.
You can't. Late 70s in this type of area, man, it's so fucking bad. I mean, there's vacant buildings being burned down all the time. It's like, this is it's just hard, and it's bad.
And
there's no work.
Expensive, right?
No, it was cheap back then. Jesus Christ.
Really?
Are you kidding me? Like now, even like Williamsburg is the most trendy, foo-foo place in Brooklyn. And 25 years ago, you could have bought an amazing waterfront building in Williamsburg for fucking ugats because nobody cared. Greenpoint was like, no one even thought of that as anything. Now they're like, Greenpoint is north of Williamsburg. Get the fuck out of here. Like, no. These different places in Brooklyn they're putting out as like all trendy, and it's $3 million for this apartment. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind?
That's nuts.
Hell no. So anyway, but back then it was a lot. So he said, quote, I didn't want to let my mother down. My mother really did a lot, always going to police stations to get my ass out. She would beat my ass so bad in front of the police. The cops must have. That's one of those things, like you arrest this kid, and when mom picks him up, she starts beating his ass. You're like, well, we don't have to follow up on that. I think she's going to do more to us.
You're just going to child abuse him right here?
I mean, she's gonna do more to him than we are. So I think at this point we just let it go.
If that's the start, oh boy, we shouldn't see him again 37 more times.
37. He said, quote, I'd been arrested 40 times before I was 12. My mother was so humble and proud, and I was arrogant.
Jesus.
Yeah. He said that this was on the Logan Paul podcast, I guess, the one that he's on. He was on there. It was a couple years ago.
Really?
It was a couple years ago. I think it was pre this whole boxing stupidness.
But still,
I'm pretty
post
sure.
him being a douche.
Well, he was alive and born, so I don't think he took his first breath
home from the hospital. So
douchebag right from the start. I feel like. I mean, definitely.
I fucking hate those guys.
Who
worst.
Doesn't? No one likes them.
Worst.
And that's why what they're doing is so, I hate to say it because I can't stand them, but it's so genius because they figured out that's what boxing is it's wrestling, and you need a bad guy.
Hateable. Yeah.
You need someone that someone wants to see get the shit beaten out of them. That's why Muhammad Ali fights were so big, because in the late 60s, early 70s, fucking people didn't like Muhammad Ali. Half the country
beat up.
Fucking hated him and wanted nothing more than to see him get throttled on TV. So they were fucking watching it, and the people who loved him couldn't wait to see him win. Right. That's wrestling. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what it works, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They everybody wants to see them get the shit beaten out of them. Everybody. That's why they pay money to see it. They literally. Imagine being that much of an asshole that people are willing to pay money to watch you get beat up, just at the hope that you might get beat up.
At an arrogant level of pay money to see it. And I will pay $100 every time to watch this kid, and then he wins against somebody that's not even a boxer, and they're shocked, and then they're like, God damn it, next time. I'll buy it next time again.
And it's like, you can see it 3 minutes after it happens on the internet for free. Like, you could, but that's how much they want to see him get beat up.
You can watch this on Twitter in literally 30 seconds. You don't have to.
I need to see it in live, real time. That's how much I need it. That's impressive, honestly.
It is impressive.
You know?
A couple of dickheads, such dickheads that they're making. James, at like a record level of hate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because people, if one of them died in the ring, nobody would be sad about that. That's a terrible thing to say. That's not like I'm not saying that's good. I'm saying that's how much people hate this guy.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. He's like Roddy Piper, 1984.
Yeah, and they're breaking down doors with speed to be able to purchase the pay-per-view to watch him get his ass kicked.
30 seconds before the rest of the world. And then every time it's boring. So They asked him essentially here, what the fuck can a pre-12-year-old what can you do to get in this much trouble? Yeah. And he said burglaries, pickpocketing, snatching jewelry. He said, quote, one punch knockout, then go in their pocket, robbery. So
they were doing those before it was a thing on the internet.
Yeah, oh fuck yeah, he was 11 doing that shit. Wow. Yeah, everything. Yeah, that's people that needed money, not people that are looking for fucking likes on on the internet. They're like, yo, take that shit because we need it.
It's crazy they consider that petty.
That's a petty, yeah. I mean, because he was a kid. He was 10, 11 years old. So they're like, what the fuck do you do with a 10-year-old that's beating people up? Like, you have to say, like, hey, be tougher than a 10-year-old, but at the same time, you can't really tell someone that's been robbed.
You almost got to put that on yourself if you're 35 and get knocked out by a 10-year-old and your wallet gets taken.
Yeah, and they're taking your statement going, so your assailant was, let me get this straight, he was carrying a Garfield folder? All right. In his trapper keeper, very good. All right, that's nice. He was wearing kangaroos with them little pockets in them on it. Yeah, that's good.
He said he had a thermos and a Dukes of Hazzard lunch pail. Is that right?
Hey, that's right. Look at that. Very good. Hey, he had a Fonzie lunch pail. Very good. It's the 70s, so you got to give him Fonzie. So he said that he was almost the same size as he was now. So he said, quote, everybody thought I was going to be 7 foot. In school, I used to get my ass kicked, but once I really learned about fighting and stuff, I kicked a lot of ass.
I believe it.
That I fucking believe here. Yeah. He gets caught at 12 in a purse snatching and actually gets sent away to a reform school. Really? Detention center is a better way to put it. It's fucking juvie. He gets sent to juvie. It's the Tryon School for Boys in Johnstown, New York. And while he's there, there's a guy named Bobby Stewart, who's a counselor at the detention center. And he is a former boxer. And he discovers Mike Tyson's ability and rage and his physicality and everything else. So he decides he takes an interest in Mike and helps him with some training while he's in the detention center, helps him learn how to do some stuff, learn how to hit bags, all the shit that you need to do. You don't know what you're doing when you're 12.
Fundamentals.
He knows how to knock you out on the street and take your wallet, but he doesn't know how to do footwork, and that's what you got to teach him. So he does that for a few months, and he sees that Mike really has some potential. He's like, he picks it up, he moves his head, he's got feet. Fuck, this guy can do it. So he introduces him to a friend of his named Customato. Yeah. Customato is the old-timey, crusty Italian boxing trainer. I mean, these guys, my stepmother's father is one of these guys. Like, he was a great guy. He was a boxing trainer, and he was just this fire plug of a man. And he was just, hey, it's got that, blah, blah, blah. He's one of these guys. He's a character.
He's Italian guy from Rocky, if that guy wasn't
Mickey.
Mickey.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He was a little more, my stepmother's father, he was a little more like a nicer guy than that, but he's also like an animal. Like, my father told me this guy, just to give you an idea of these old-timey Guinea boxing managers, the type of guys they are. They're all tough son of a bitches.
Yeah.
Like, his nickname was Lem. They always called him Lem, and my father asked his father, why did they call him Lem? Why is that his nickname? Because his name was
Joe.
His name was Jim. So it was like, why do they call him Lem? Well, his name was Vincent. He went by Jim, and everybody called him Lem. So that's it's a strange thing. Anyway.
Family's bizarre, James.
Anyway. So he said, why do you call him Lem? And he said, because he used to fight so much when they'd go out, he'd always be saying, let me at him. So they called him Lem. Let me at him. They have to hold him back. Like, he'd go fucking crazy and tear a bar up and beat the shit out of everybody. It was like, oh my God.
Lem, short for
Let me at him.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's the type of guys, these old, these are all old, tough guys that came from a tough time, and they're just a different breed of guy. So Customato will end up becoming his trainer and later on his legal guardian. He adopts him, for fuck's sake. Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it. So he brings Customato over to see him, watches Tyson spar. He spars with a grown man at the time who's 12 years old. The grown man, by the way, is also a boxer. It's not just some grown man. He puts him in the ring with a grown man boxer, and Mike beats the living shit out of him.
Really?
At 12. So they're like, that's something. You don't see that every day.
Certainly a good start.
This is a good time to talk about this. When you watch Mike Tyson fight, I've never, ever, ever seen anybody throw punches with more ferocity in the history of boxing. I mean, obviously, we didn't see not a lot of Jack Dempsey footage or Jack Johnson footage out there, but, early, whatever. But, I've never seen anybody in my time throw punches like him before. And even the heavy hitters, you got your Fraziers and your Foremans and guys like that. Nobody hit like Mike Tyson.
The flurry and the strength behind the flurry. I've seen flurries that are really impressive.
Sure.
Even Muhammad Ali threw really nice combos fast and
they were beautiful.
Powerful.
They were poetic.
Right. But Tyson's are they're very well crafted and they're very well structured and thrown perfectly, but it's almost with a slop to them that you think that's not going to land and then when it hits you're like, how?
He's so compact. All of his shit is he's like Joe Frazier if Joe Frazier had fucking nitroglycerin up his ass. That's the best way I can describe him because he's so explosive. His punches, and it's been said about Tyson before, and it's the best way to describe it. Most of the time when you watch boxing, guys are throwing punches. They're trying to hit the guy, knock him out, have a controlled thing. Mike's punches, they're trying to win. Mike's punches have bad intentions behind them. They have bad intentions.
They're murder fists.
Every one of them looks like he just walked in on this guy trying to molest his child, and he is going to fucking obliterate this man's head from the earth.
Yeah.
Every single time he throws a punch, it's like that. Right. So I've never seen anybody do that before, and I've never seen anybody hit like Mike. I've never seen a heavyweight boxer knock another heavyweight boxer down with an arm punch before, punch to the arm, and just knock him over by the sheer force of it. I've never seen that besides Mike Tyson. So it's impressive. Anyway, so Cus D'Amato's impressed with that shit. Cus, by the way, had trained Floyd Patterson.
Is that right?
Who was a heavyweight champion in the 50s and
unbelievable boxer. Yeah.
Great boxer, 40s. He's amazing, Floyd.
Another one that was unbelievably beautiful, really, really.
Oh yeah. Floyd was
perfect
pretty.
punch. It's just
he's fucking pretty, Floyd Patterson.
It's fun to see. Yes, it feels good when you see. It's like looking at a painting, and you're like, oh, somebody took time to do this. It's beautiful. That's what their punches are. It's like they've done it so many times, and they've got it perfect. It's really fun to see it get connected.
It is. It's the opposite of Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Rocky Marciano fight?
I've seen him in obviously black and white.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
He was dead by the time there was color. So Rocky Marciano, obviously, I love Rocky Marciano because I'm a fucking guinea, and he's kind of he's on our Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? You got Joe DiMaggio, you got Rocky Marciano. There's a few of these guys that are definitely our Mount Rushmore, and Rocky's one of them. I mean, he retired heavyweight champ of the world undefeated, 49-0. It's pretty fucking impressive, So.
But
Rocky,
the footage of that is it doesn't do him any favors because it's almost like those old timey flick, you know what I mean?
No, there's good footage of him. It's
I haven't seen any good footage of him. It all looks like really, really
it's
shitty
just black
film.
and white. It's not like Babe Ruth fast. It
looks like that to me.
Oh, I've never seen it like that.
Really?
It looks like I Love Lucy. It's just black and white.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, maybe the fight you saw might have been like a shittily, like a not
terribly filmed,
not a televised one, maybe, or
probably
one
not.
of those. But when you watch him, he'll take two shots to give you one happily. You just can't hurt him. He's a monster, and he just comes at you. His form is terrible. Yeah. You hit him twice, and he's just like, don't care, wailing on your head. And then by the 10th round, you just can't take it anymore. This guy just keeps coming at you, and he'd knock you out. But Tyson was a different type of fighter. Marciano didn't have the ferocity of a Mike Tyson. He didn't have that kind of thing. Nobody did. So anyway, he said of Mike Tyson, quote, he's the next heavyweight champion of the world if he wants it. That's what he said after seeing it. If he wants it. If he wants to do it and puts his whole self into it, he's got the talent for it. But, I mean, you never know. D'Amato gets Tyson a pass from the center briefly to get him out to come hang out with him. That's some silver shit right there.
Like work release?
Yeah. That's some silver shit.
Wow.
Yeah. That's some connections and some silver shit, right? That's like Billy Martin springing around the floor.
Yeah.
I think he can play center field. So what do you say we cut this short? So
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Oh, this was to talk to him, and he said, would you basically put everything you have into this? Can you do that? You're 12. Do you want to dedicate the next, few years of your life just training and getting ready to fight? This basically. And he, he said he wanted to. And he said, okay. And then he got him a second pass and just to make sure he was still into it and everything. By this point, he just turned 14. And Mike said he was just as into it as he was before. He said, this is all I want. I want a new life. I don't want to go back to where I was, because Cuss is telling him, if you do this, you're going to come live in the Catskills with me, which is, 3 hours from Brooklyn, up in the mountains. It's your life's going to be completely different. It's going to be all training. That's going to be your whole life. And he said, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm tired of getting arrested all the time.
Yeah, it's a better life to be removed from all that. And I mean, sure, you're not around the people that you know, but you don't have to scrape for food and punch people out.
Well, that's the thing that he said. He said, up here, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be arrested all the time. I'm not going to be hungry. I'm at least going to get that sort of my basic needs met. And so he brings Mike to live with him in his house. It was owned by Camille Ewald, who is the sister of Customato's brother's wife. Okay. So it's like Customato's sort of sister-in-law, I guess. That's
got a house up there.
She kind of becomes his default kind of mother type.
Really?
Because he lives in her house up there. Mm-hmm. So, and this is like on the main street in it's idyllic little place that Mike is like, what the fuck is going on here? This is different. Cuss has his gym in town, but so Mike is happy, but he also says later on, it's weird during the time because in the 80s, he didn't really get any therapy, I don't think, or much therapy. Later on, once he has a bunch of therapy, he kind of realizes how people were in the past. So this is with the benefit of hindsight. He says that Customato shaped him into both a champion and into an arrogant sociopath. And encouraged him to have a ruthless attitude.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, he raised him he didn't raise him to be like a human being. He raised him to be the heavyweight champion of the world. There was no and then let me show you how to do this, and then you should go out on a first date and here buy her this kind of flower. He didn't do any of that shit. It was
he's a cockfighter.
Let's watch another fight tape, because that's all he cared about. He was a trainer, and this kid was like, so that's all he cared about. Right. And which is a lot for a 14-year-old.
Raising a vicious pit bull, yeah,
and you can indoctrinate a kid that age very easily. This is like, Nazi youth. If you have them at that age, you mold them, you can do anything with them. So he in his book, he said that Cuss was the only person who ever scared him in his whole life.
Really?
He said he was scared shitless of Customato for some reason.
Right?
Let me at him. I don't know why. He said that Cuss was responsible. He said he owes all his boxing shit to Customato. Like, when you watch Mike's style, Mike is a very unique style. And if you watch him, you can watch, if you took photoshopped the people out and just had silhouettes of them, you could see who was Mike Tyson just based on the way he's for 5 seconds. I can watch that and tell you if it's Tyson or not.
Absolutely.
It's number one, his defense isn't like everybody has their hands like that. Mike always has them together at the chin. That's his defense, and it allows him to throw any punch from that scenario. And it also allows him to protect his body, and he can just duck his head in if he needs to. It's decent defense.
And he's
for
using
a guy,
his shoulders rather than the forearm and the fist and the glove. He's just using his shoulders and boxing up.
He looks like a turtle in a shell when he goes into defense mode, and it really works. It works incredibly for him. You have to have a certain body type to do that. And Cuss saw the body type, and his style, he calls it. Everybody always called it the peekaboo style, which is he's never still. He's up, down, left, right, up, down. He's always moving in and out and up and down, and he's got great fucking head movement, and you never know when he's going to unleash one of these vicious punches. And it's almost like when he's doing these head movements and that peekaboo shit that he's talking about, it's like a snake that's moving, that's ready to strike, and you're like, oh shit, when's it going to, oh fuck, now it's doing that. Jesus, I wish it would stay still. I'd at least know where to defend. That's what it's what it looks like a person is trying to avoid in the ring. And anyway, so he said, though, Cuss petrified him. He said, quote, "I was petrified when I was alone with him. If he called me, Mike, I need to talk to you, I didn't feel good going over to him. That's when he'd start giving me his detailed criticisms of my fights." So he knew Mike just wanted to please everybody at this point. He wanted to please his mom. He wanted to please Cuss. And he and he needs the critique. That's the only way you get better. But it's not like Mike has, he gets critique from Cuss and then he goes home and someone gives him a hug and makes him dinner and then they talk. That doesn't have, that's home.
Yeah, but also the criticism that he's getting, he's got anxiety and his stomach hurts hearing it. It's not like you need to do this better and this better. It's like just the picking apart and the insecurity. He's likely a very insecure man.
Absolutely.
Child.
How would you not be? Yeah. How would you not be? And Tyson said that he never showed in public that he was afraid of him, but he said after fights behind closed doors, that's when he was scared because he didn't want Cuss to criticize him. As he looked at him, it's probably the only father figure he remembers, and then this guy's criticizing him, and he just wants him to tell him he's good at something, and that's all he wants. He said, quote, "People see the public celebrations of my sensational knockouts, but they don't hear Cuss talking to me alone after the fight. He'd make me feel like shit, play with my emotions. He would put things in your head all day," which is what coaches do.
Yeah. Fastest knockout we've ever seen. You fought like a pussy.
It's what coaches do. I was listening to, who was it? I can't remember now. Vince Lombardi. I was reading this old book. Jerry Kramer wrote this book. It's a great book if you're interested in old-timey football. He was a guard for the Packers. The Ice Bowl against Dallas. Right. He's the guy who made the block for Bart Starr at the end to do the dive. So he became a very famous guy in Green Bay, and he was on all their Super Bowl teams and everything. And he's a real smart guy and a funny guy, and he wrote a book. Him and Dick Schaap wrote a book where he kept a diary of the whole 67 season, and it's interesting as fuck. But in it, he talks a lot about how Lombardi is like a cruel father. He said one day he's praising you when you think you fucked up, he's praising you, and you're like, oh, okay. And then when you play well, he comes in and fucking rips you a new asshole, calls you a piece of shit, tells you you're not. Why the fuck do I need you? I should go find some kids in the park. It's fucking unreal. And he said it was always the perfect formula to win games, which is his job. So he's like, his job isn't to make a bunch of football players feel great about themselves and sing and hold hands together. His job is, no matter how much he tortures those people and all that, is to get a win at the end of the day. And that's what coaches do, and that's what he's doing, which is fine, except that he's his father figure at the same time, so it's difficult because there's no balance to it. He has no balance.
It's a genius way of shaping somebody to win, too, because in your loss, you don't want to let the person that you're coaching to get too low about the loss. So you tell them the positive things about the loss so that we can build on that later. But in a moment of, don't get so fucking excited. You're still a piece of shit in the win.
Lift them when they're down, kick them when they're up. That's an old coaching philosophy. That's what they do. Don't get too high. You're actually, that's to keep people even too, because you're trying to keep them at an even pace. You're not that bad. You're not that good. Stay even. You don't want to be all fucking crazy. So that's kind of how it works here. So anyway, and the other thing is I don't know if Cuss knows any other way. I just think maybe that's his way.
And he's old. He's been doing this a long time.
Oh, he's an old man. And he's an old boxing guy. I mean, gentleness, he fucking training Floyd Patterson. Gentleness isn't in his vocabulary.
It's out the window. Which
sucks, and that's borderline abusive, but at the same time, without him, Mike's in prison by now. You know what I mean? That's the other problem. So it sucks. So 1981, Mike wins the Junior Olympic Championship gold medal that year against Joe Cortez in 1981. And I wonder if that's the same Joe Cortez that's a referee later. I'm not positive.
Is he 17 at this point?
Fuck, 81. He's 14.
Jeez.
He's 15. He's 15. Maybe just turned 15. It's junior Olympic championships. 1982, his mom dies.
Oh, damn it.
And now he's been in the Catskills for a couple years now, and it's hard on him. He says, quote, let's do, well, you know what? No, we'll do it in their own words later. This is actually sad. So, and it should be sad.
How did this happen?
I'm not sure. He said, quote, I never saw my mother happy with me and proud of me for doing something. She only knew me as being a wild kid running the streets, coming home with new clothes that she knew I didn't pay for. I never got a chance to talk to her or know about her. Professionally, it has no effect, but it's crushing emotionally and personally.
Oh, I believe it.
That's what he said about it later. He didn't say that at 15. That would be amazingly articulate for a 15-year-old of any education level. I'd be like, wow, that's impressive to put your emotions.
What she put into this world, what the product of, granted, a lot of hard work from the surroundings and other people, but she gave us Mike Tyson, and that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. In a bad petri dish, she kind of, it's a tough... Yeah, the fact that he was a stranger could pull him into a building pre 8 years old probably means he didn't have the greatest supervision, and at the same time, it's hard. You can't blame people. Who the hell knows what was going on in people's lives? So Cuss ends up adopting Mike, legally becoming his father. Mike wins another Junior Olympic Championship in 1982, beating Kelton Brown for that one. So. Okay. He's doing very well. Now, his amateur career, this isn't his complete amateur career, but it's most of it here. He starts out on March 22nd, 83, fighting Ronald Williams and beats him in the first round. And next he fights Andrew Stokes. This is he fights 5 days in a row. It's a tournament. Wow. It's got to be a tournament, so it's 5 matches in a row. We're talking headgear, too, here. Yeah. It's amateur, so. Sure. But still, it's 5 fucking fights in a row, that's tough. So next day is Andrew Stokes. He beats him. Next day is Mike Bardwell, who is fighting his first fight. These are all in Albuquerque, New Mexico, by the way.
Yikes.
So he's learning boxing isn't all glamorous right off the start here.
Yeah.
The 25th of March of 83, he fights Warren Thompson and beats him by points. And then the next day, the 26th, is, I guess, the finals of the tournament, where he fights Craig Payne, who's a 6-3 fighter, and he loses on points.
Oh, damn it.
Which is very easy to do. It's 3 rounds, first of all. So, I mean, it's very easy to lose on points in an amateur match. Yeah. Extremely easy. Happens to the best of them. The next up, it's a USA versus West Germany boxing meet in Lake Placid in what is this, September of 1983. He fights Peter Geyer and beats him in the first round.
Okay.
Next up, he fights Johnny Williams, beats him on points. Richard Johnson, Dick Johnson.
Yeah,
he beat up a man named Dick Johnson.
Dick. He beat a man named Dick.
That's amazing. Wow, that's fucking awesome. Old Dickie Tucock. This is the National Gold Gloves semifinal match.
Yeah.
He beats him in. And then he fights Jonathan Little in the National Gold Gloves heavyweight final in April of 84, and he beats him in the first round to become the National Golden Gloves heavyweight
fantastic
champion. Next up, he's doing Olympic trials. He wants to go to the Olympics because these guys in boxing, if you can win Olympic gold, if you can be a famous Olympian back then, when you start fighting professionally, your fights are immediately big money fights, and you make money right off the bat because everyone knows you. Like Sugar Ray Leonard was a goddamn star before he ever had his first pro fight. So here he fights Avery Rawls and gets a decision over him, fights Henry Milligan, knocks him out in the second round with headgear and all, which is impressive. Then he fights Henry Tillman. And keep that name in mind for part 2, by the way. Henry Tillman, he fights him twice here in a matter of a month. He fights him twice in the U.S. Olympic trials in the final, and he loses to him on points.
Yeah.
Loses to Tillman. And then in the Olympic box-offs, I guess, this is like for an at-large bid, I'm not sure. Henry Tillman beats him again by decision.
Oh, Hank, you can't get him.
He can't beat Henry Tillman. Later on, he will almost explode his head like a watermelon in a professional fight. He hits him with a fucking right that doesn't hit him in the face. It hits him up on top of the fucking head.
Like in the temple?
Above it, like behind and above your temple, like in the side of the head. And the sound the glove makes on skull, because there's not face, it's just this poof. And this guy just fucking... He just flies into the mat, and his mouthpiece is out, his eyes are every which direction. It's a fucking mess. Now, Henry Tillman will end up winning a gold medal for the United States that year in the Olympics.
Really?
So maybe Henry was the best guy to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. But he does here. He wins that year, and Mike continues his pro or his amateur career very quickly. He beats, Winston Bent. He beats in Syracuse and by decision. He knocks out Kelton Brown again, who's the guy he beat for the Junior Olympic title before. He beats Pekka Vilpo. I don't know what the hell that is. Pekka Vilpo. 2 Ks in Pekka, by the way.
No kidding.
Yeah. Beats him.
You can't call yourself the Pecker.
Dick Johnson. Maybe he's related to Dick Johnson. We're not sure. He beats Istvan... Jesus, is that Istvan Zvikora? Zikora. Zikora. Jesus, I don't know. He beats him by split decision. And then Hakan Brock, he beats by split decision as well, or unanimous decision. So overall, he lost like 3 amateur fights. No big deal.
Really well.
Yeah, does really well. I mean, you're learning. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Guys have a little more experience. They can point you in 3 rounds. It's easy. Yeah. He makes his pro boxing debut here on March 6th, 1985. Mm-hmm. And that is at the Empire State Convention Center in Albany, New York. Okay. Where dreams come true, Jimmy, obviously. The Empire State Plaza Convention Center in Albany.
I get that it's still in New York, technically
magical,
the Empire
it?
State, but you can't be robbing shit of New York City in Albany.
Well, it's Empire; it's the capital of New York.
I get it.
Yeah, that's why.
I get it. But your building is the impressive part.
That's true. That's true. That's the Empire part. So Here we go. Hector Mercedes. He's fighting first.
Yeah.
Old Hector Mercedes is 0-3 coming in.
Yikes.
So they want to set Mike up for success here. He's got a 1-10 career record before he finally gives up.
Really?
And retires. 1-10, Jimmy. He's fucking terrible.
And assumptively got the shit kicked out of him by Mike Tyson.
Well, let's talk about it. TKO at 1 minute and 47 seconds. What we're going to do with all these crazy early fights is I have video queued up of all of them here, and we're going to watch them together here. Here, I'm going to pull your chair over, roll it over here. I got a table. I'm going to put the laptop on the table.
This looks great.
Can you see it from where you are?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
Hector
My
Mercedes,
angle.
right there on the
my
screen.
angle with the light, I didn't know. Okay, good deal. Check it out. We should get popcorn and snuggle. This is nice. We're getting all close to see the laptop. So this is his fight against Hector Mercedes. This is just like the right before the knockout, so you can see it. Here we go. It's bad footage.
Little
but
dance.
He is pumping him with body blows.
Shit out of his.
Look at those lefts. He looks like he's mugging him, for Christ's sake. This doesn't look like a professional fight. It looks like one person is not voluntarily involved in this.
Wallet.
Holy shit. Look at him. He's like, God damn, that kid's whooping my fucking ass. He's shaking his head on the ground. He's on his knees. He just doesn't get back up.
He's certainly reconsidered life.
He has reconsidered his career choices. Continues on for a few more fights, though, like a crazy person. Next up.
His spleen never recovered. I guarantee it.
Tyson was hammering with these left hooks to the body like a piston. They were like, boom, 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 boom. And they were all vicious. They weren't like rabbit punches. They were fucking vicious. Next up, April 10th, 85. So he'll be fighting at least once a month, by the way. At least. April 10th, 85, in Albany again, where dreams come true. He fights Trent Singleton, who comes in 1-3, and this is his last fight. Would you like to see why this is his last fight?
I love it.
Let's watch and see why this is his last fight. Watch the speed here of Mike, by the way. He hits him. He's like, oh God, that hurt. Shit, this guy. Oh God, don't.
Oh my.
Dude, you couldn't even see his fucking hands, man. You couldn't even see them.
I don't even know how many. Is it slow-mo now?
No. This is continuing the fight. This guy got up and he just buries him with a left hook that sent him into the rope, knocked him down like a. Oh, here he goes again.
He got back up and wants more.
Left hook, left hook. Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
Have mercy.
He went to hit him again.
Stop this fight.
Stop, please. He hit him with 2 left hooks that were just absolutely fucking vicious. Holy shit.
So fast.
So the first knockdown, he hit him with about 7 punches from both hands that looked like when Heathcliff would be in a cloud of dust.
Yeah.
It was just woof, 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 and the guy fell down. I don't even know how many times he punched, how many times he hit him. I don't know if he just scared the guy and he just fell. I don't know what happened, but
I don't know if he just felt the wind from the majority of them and took one punch, but that was a lot of punches.
That was fucking intense. That would scare the shit. I would quit if someone tried to do that. Never mind. This is a TKO.
I think the ref was enjoying watching. It was like, how much more of this can you take? Because that was awesome.
That you just saw all of that. Those 3 knockdowns happened in 52 seconds, Jimmy. That's withstanding 8 counts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude,
that was 24 seconds of the ref counting in his face.
Yeah. Most of these early fights look like they're not voluntary. Literally looks like someone is like sentenced to get in that ring and they're like, but I don't want to fight. And they're like, fight him. But I don't really want to.
This is court ordered. It's this or the slammer.
It's mandatory. Sorry. You didn't pay your child support. You got to do this or something. So he's 2-0 after that.
Yeah.
May 23rd, 85, in Albany, he fights Don Halpin, who's 10-18 coming in. So he's an experienced fighter, 10-23 for his career. So he never wins another fight after this. I think Tyson kind of... He ruined his brain. This is
the motivation out of him.
This does go to the 4th round.
No kidding.
So shows you what an experienced fighter can do. Also, an experienced fighter knows how to hold and not get knocked the fuck out like the other guy. Don't stand toe to toe. Here he is, Don Halpin, getting knocked out here. This is in Albany again. Again, dreams coming true.
Yeah.
This guy is a white guy with a mustache.
Yeah.
Who looks like he's... Jesus Christ, that was brutal. His head popped up and his whole hairdo just fucking expanded. He got up from that. Wow. Oh, right hand, left hook, right hand. Oh
God,
my God.
No.
Oh, no, Mike. Don't hit him there.
Let him take that last shot.
Holy shit. No wonder why he only fought 3. Tyson went up on the second rope like he was... fucking Shawn Michaels there. Did you see that?
Tyson put him into the ropes with 2 punches, which is he's down, but he bounced back, and Tyson I guess
hit him with an uppercut then.
Yeah, takes it as he's
sitting.
still in this fight and just hammered his face.
just off the pushback from the ropes. Like he went into the ropes and sprung off of them, and Tyson was like, oh, you're coming at me again? And fucking drilled him with an uppercut.
You want more?
It was a left hook, straight right cross that just knocked him down, and then a fucking uppercut that made him look like he's probably not going to remember his kids' names.
Because the ropes wanted him back in this fight.
Wow. 3-0. That guy would have been better off with no ropes that time. Yes. So, June 20th, 85, Resorts International, Atlantic City.
Ricardo, what? Spain?
Resorts International, Atlantic
what's his first?
City.
What's
Ricardo, Spain.
Yeah.
Ricardo, Spain. The Resorts International AC, where dreams get a blowjob from a crackhead under a boardwalk. That's a different dream.
But that's what they tell your wife.
That's what happens to him. Yeah, it's very anonymous. So Ricardo, Spain is 1-0 coming in. Very promising. It's 1-0 versus 3-0. It's going to be a showdown for the ages. Only thing is Ricardo's career record ends up being 2-23-1. So
poor Richie.
Yeah. This fight lasts 39 seconds, and Ricardo goes down twice in that span.
In 39 seconds.
In 39 seconds. Well, the other guy went down 3 times in 57 seconds. Right. By the way, this, if you want to watch along, this is from a YouTube video that I have downloaded so we don't get ads, called Mike Tyson All Knockouts Collection.
Beautiful.
So it's on YouTube. You guys can check it out, everybody out there as well. This is Ricardo, Spain, getting pummeled, knocked down twice in 39 seconds. Here he goes. He's a skinny-looking guy. Oh, God, that right hand was... Oh, Jesus, that was so fast you barely even saw it. He hit him with a left so fast.
Ricardo thought he could challenge him. Ricardo was the aggressor there.
Yeah, a lot of guys, that's their strategy. I'm going to go in there and stand toe-to-toe, and they get knocked out even further. Oh, God. Jesus. Ricardo looked like he was standing in quicksand that time. He was standing up straight and just slowly fell. He didn't fall. He didn't fall over. He just went straight down. His legs just melted into the floor. That was wild.
He threw a solid punch, took one, and thought this was we go blow for blow, and tried to give another. But by then he's rocked and can't.
Oh Jesus! This isn't a Rocky movie, Chief.
And then he took another, and then his knees hit the ground.
He's like, "Oh, I thought we were doing 1 for 1." So June 20th, 85. Oh, that was that one. Okay. July 11th, 85 versus Alderson, Atlantic City again. Jesus Christ. Where Jesus, man. Where fucking dreams get stabbed by a crackhead under behind this hotel now. John Alderson, he's fighting here. Who isn't very good. He's 3-0 coming in, but he finishes his career 6-1.
Okay.
He's just doesn't hold very well. John Alderson doesn't come out for the second round, which I think is funny. It's over for that. This is by the way, I love this referee's name. He refs a bunch of fights. It's Frankie Cappuccino. Cappuccino. Here he is, John Alderson. This fight, we can see a couple of knockdowns. Another white guy with a mustache, which is not...
I've seen this. He gets...
Oh, that right hand made him like wobble, and then he was like, no, I'm okay.
I don't blame him for not coming out, because Tyson gave him brain damage for sure. Look at his face. That's one round?
This is the first round still. Oh, right hand.
Oh, my God.
He went down like he got hit with a cinder block on that one. Like he held his head like, ow, which you don't see boxers often do.
James, 1 round with Tyson, that guy looks like he fought 2 fights.
2 12-round fights. 1 fight. Next fight here, for some reason, is not on the list here, so I'll just, it's not on the video. This is July 19th, 1985, right up the road from my house here, Mid-Hudson Civic Center, Poughkeepsie, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Where I saw many a wrestling card when I was a kid. And
I've seen the building.
Monday Night, we drove by it. Monday Night Raw in the 90s and all that shit. My poor father had to sit there through 8 fucking Raw tapings. I've told that story. I told it. That poor bastard.
No, you told it to me. I don't think you told it on this show.
Quickly, Monday Night Raw, early 90s. My brother's like 6 years old. He's a big wrestling fan. My brother Eric, who's probably listening. Hello, Eric. He's a big wrestling fan. So my dad he wasn't big on like baseball. He took me to like 1 baseball game and 1 football game. And he was so miserable the whole time because he knew we had to go the traffic from the Meadowlands. I could see it. And he tried. He wasn't a dick.
Yeah.
He tried, but I could see it on his face that he's just like, oh, the fucking traffic getting out of here. There's 60,000 people. Oh my God. So he was just tough to get to take to stuff, except for wrestling for some reason, because it was easier at the Civic Center because it's a small building, holds like 3,000, 5,000 people, something like that. Not only that, but it's he likes to go a wrestling show. Even if you don't like wrestling, a wrestling show is always going to be fun. It's good entertainment.
Yeah. The event
always
is fun. Yeah.
Even if you don't know what's going on, you don't know who's who. You're like, Jesus, this is quite a fucking show they're putting on. So we went to Monday Night Raw because my little brother wanted to go to Monday Night Raw when it first started in the early 90s. Now, what they would do is they'd tape like 4 of them at once.
Yeah.
They tape it once a month in the very beginning, and they'd have 4 of them from there.
All of it.
We didn't know that. Yeah. These are hour-long shows. So my father thought he was taking us to an hour-long show that starts at 9 p.m. on a Monday night. Okay.
Oh, and that alone already is stressful, and thinking about tomorrow, all of it's already fucked.
It's over. He's like, all right, that was good. That was fun. And then all of a sudden, the Monday Night Raw music starts up again. What the fuck's going on? My little brother's like, yay, more. Yay. I'm like 15, so I just think it's hilarious. Yeah. I'm rolling because my father's like, Jesus fucking, okay, all right, that's not bad, it's fine. Right. And my little brother's, yay, and I was happy to be there. I'm 15, I want to stay up late anyway.
Yeah.
So this whole time, by the way, every time a person comes out, you know how the kids would go to the railing to get a good view of them. If you watch one of these shows, I'm sure you can see me shoving children out of the way and thrusting my little brother at the... I would basically take my hand, wedge kids aside that were smaller, and with my right hand, shove my little brother in the back, thrust him to which he thought was great because he's like, "Yay!" He's right on the railing, high fiving guys and shit,
like a child filing cabinet.
Yeah, just like move and you go here. There we go, and I do it every match.
Yeah,
we'd go back anyway. This kept going on. The next hour starts. Yay! My father, fucking, goddamn Christ, fucking. And my stepmother's there going, Jim, calm down. It's okay. Telling my father, calm down. It's because she's super nice. God, Jesus Christ, I got to wake up in the fucking 5 o'clock. I got to get up and go to work in the goddamn. We didn't leave till 1:15 in the morning from the Civic Center. My father was fucking white knuckle on the steering wheel. Oh, you fucking son of a fucking! I can't. I gotta wake up in fucking 4 hours. I can fucking kill somebody.
Nightmares for 4 hours of sleep of a 6-year-old saying "yay,"
and he was my little brother. Yay! That was great. Can we go back next month? It was fucking awesome. It was hilarious. My poor father was very upset about that. So anyway, that's the Civic Center. Larry Sims is 3-16-2 coming into this fight.
Oh my!
And he ends up 3-19-2. So this didn't improve his lot.
No.
It all goes to the third round. Mike knocks him out, making him 6-0. That's all I know. Next up, August 15th, 1985. This is Lorenzo Cannady. This is Resorts International in Atlantic City. He's 3-0 coming in, so this looks promising. Finishes 7-10-1. This is a knockout in under a minute. And
is this the tall guy? Maybe
he's got like a Jerry curl without the applicator in it.
Yes,
type of hairdo.
I think it's the guy that looks like Big Gip from Goody Mob. We're about to watch.
There you go. Yeah. This guy gets the absolute utter shit knocked out of him, though.
I think
it's
the right guy then.
No, this is a different guy.
No.
I had a different guy in mind. It's the next guy we're talking about. This guy's, oh my God, right hand rocked him, and he stood there and took it. He goes down to one knee, and the ref's like, you're not going to win this fight, bro.
He took that whole punch to the face.
The ref hugged him and patted him on the back like, dude, it wasn't going to happen for you. I'm sorry.
I've never seen that before.
I had to stop it. It's just, that was terrible. Wait, was that?
He's going to kill you. You just took all of his punch to the face.
I think that was Larry Sims. It was mislabeled on this. I think that was Larry Sims. I think, because then it says this is Cannady, but now we're all fucked up. I don't know what's going on here.
God damn it.
Is this Cannady? Let's see here.
That one was labeled as Cannady.
Yeah, and so was this one.
Oh,
that's the guy we're talking about.
That's Cannady.
Yeah, with the
Yep.
Jerry curl. Oh man,
dear God.
He looks like a child who was punched real hard in the stomach. This guy's skinny as fuck, man. Are you kidding me?
He looks like Big Gip from Goody Mob. There it is.
That right hand. Jesus Christ.
Arrest that man.
His legs, his feet are just going back and forth. The ref didn't even count.
No.
Just medical staff rushed into the ring the second he hit the canvas.
That was attempted murder, James.
Yeah. Someone's out when the ref doesn't even count. His corner just jumps into the ring to try to give him medical aid. That's scary.
Somebody bring the paddles. He is definitely in need of, at minimum, mouth to mouth. That shot. Because he was already stumbled with that belly shot. And as fast as I can't believe the ref didn't stand him there for quite some time to count. Did they give him a standing 8?
He never got back up.
No, on that first knockdown.
I don't think so, no.
I don't think that was a standing 8. Because he just got to his feet and the ref was like, he's fine.
He's good. Go back at it.
Murder.
Okay, murder him. Yeah, standing 8 wasn't always a thing, so... Wow. That's especially in non-title fights and non-big fights.
Kennedy deserved it.
Yeah. Next up, September 5th, 85, Atlantis Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. He fights Michael, this is his nickname, Jimmy, Michael Jack Johnson. I don't think so. No. Not with your fucking Jerry curl. This guy's got a Jerry curl. Jack Johnson would bitch slap you. What are you talking about? No. If he was alive, he would bitch slap the shit out of you. And then go out with your white girlfriend and not get arrested for it and feel very much better about himself that he's not living in fucking 1898.
Right.
Jesus Christ. So 11-5 coming in, ends up 15-18. This is a knockout in 39 seconds, making him 8-0. Now, I think, was that, or is this it? Okay. October 9th, 85 is Donnie Long. Mm-hmm. Donnie, Master of Disaster Long.
He is. Of a bitch.
He is 15-3 coming in and ends up 16-10. See what Tyson does to people? He ruins them. He fucking ruins
disaster.
them.
He's right.
He's got that going for him. This is a knockout in 1 minute and 28 seconds here.
Oh my God.
I'll play this and show it. I believe this is Donnie Long. Mm-hmm. If he's got a nice fro, it's Donnie Long because that's the one. Yeah, that's Donnie Long. There he is. Look at him. Oh, Jesus.
My.
Left hook just shot him hit him flush with a left hook in the face. Oh, this guy looks scared right now.
Oh, Christ. Oh, Jesus.
He tried to get out of the ring and look, oh, God. He's holding him like, please don't hit me anymore.
Home.
Oh, God. He was holding Mike's head while Mike was pummeling him with it. Holy shit. He's still going. He looks like Dwayne Wayne, this guy. What the fuck is going on? Oh, left hook.
He looked
his head.
Dead right there.
Yeah.
His fall looked not good.
He looked like he tried to get up, and then he went, oh, never mind. Okay, so that was Donnie Long. That was 1 minute 28 that one took. 9-0.
Yeah.
Next up is October 25th, 85, back at the Atlantis. This fight lasts 37 seconds. He fights Robert Big Bob Coley.
Oh, boy.
Big Bob.
Yeah.
Big Bob is 7-7-1 coming in.
Oh, he's big.
His career is 7-13-1. He ends up. So this is Tyson ruins his career as well. Let's see how this goes for Robert Coley. 37 seconds. We should be able to see the whole fight here.
Yeah.
He's hugging him. He's a big, tall guy.
Yeah.
He's hugging him. Oh, that's a wild left hook he just took. Oh, God.
My God.
My God. Tyson, holy balls. That was.
He threw everything he had with that left hook and left himself wide open. And Tyson just ate his face.
He's a real tall guy that threw this hook kind of half-assed, real open hook, and Tyson came up with a real compact hook and fucking leveled. Tyson, when he would hit people in the side of the head with the hook, it's one thing, but when he's turned and he hits you flush in the face with that thing, like he just hit him, it sends people flying into the ropes every fucking time, and that's what happened there. That was dangerous.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Next up, Sterling Benjamin, who comes into this. Mike's 10-0, by the way. November 1st, 85. It's at the Latham Coliseum in Latham, New York, which I don't even know where that is. And I fucking live here. So Sterling Benjamin is 5-6-1 coming into this fight, and this is his last fight. He decides better of boxing after this, which I don't blame him, honestly. If this happened to you, you wouldn't want to do this again.
Any of those guys, nobody would blame them for quitting after what he just did to them.
Especially after they saw it on video. They'd go, oh, God, I can't be doing that. This fight lasts 54 seconds, and the ref has to stop it. So this guy just... some people's bodies just react and get up when they shouldn't. Oh, God. Barely.
Boy.
He hit him with a left there. Mike's having trouble finding the neutral corner. Here he is again, right to the body. To the body. Uppercut through the defense and then a left hook to the side of the head. He was just pummeling his rib cage till he dropped his guard a half an inch and then fucking
giving nothing that was coming back at him. The guy was just covering up because he knows
like a punching
the
bag.
onslaught. Yeah, the onslaught is just too much.
No, once he starts laying the punches in, all you can do is cover up and try not to get killed, because if you open up to punch him, he's gonna destroy you.
Yeah.
So that fight, like I said, was November 1st, 1985. He's 11-0 and just looking great. November 4th, 85, Customato dies. So now he's lost his mom and he's lost Customato.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good for Mike. This is not good for Mike. One thing that Cuss could do, which isn't so great when he's a teenager, because you want to give the guy some love and teach him how to be a human being as well.
Yeah.
But when Mike's an adult and he's boxing, he needs somebody to keep him on track, because as we find out, he kind of likes to go off the rails and do some wild shit. And Cuss was the guy.
What did Customato die of?
I don't even know. He was like 80, so I mean, old age, a heart attack, a stroke. Pick it. We'll pick it. Here's a 5-card draw. You pick it. Who cares? Old man death.
Yeah.
So, it's tough on Mike, this death, because now he feels like he's got no guidance. And the people from Cuss's teams, Kevin Rooney is his trainer, takes over as his main trainer, who was Cuss's guy. And, he kind of keeps him on track. But he's an adult at some point, too. And an adult, any teenager, even that comes from the best family that they have everything they want, they're going to rebel at some point.
Right.
He's an adult now. He's not he's not a teenager. He's an adult. And when he starts getting a lot of money, it's hard to tell a rich adult what to do.
Right.
A rich adult who can beat up anyone on the planet, it's hard to be like, don't do that. You're ruining your shit. They're like, fuck you. I'm rich and I pummel everyone. It's hard. So November 13th, 1985, at the Ramada Houston Hotel in Houston, Texas, he fights Eddie Richardson, who is 10-2 coming in, promising, ends up 14-21. So not great after this fight. This fight lasts 1 minute and 17 seconds.
Yep.
And let's watch this. It's a knockout in 1 minute 17. Let's see how old Eddie Richardson's bouncing. Another real tall, skinny guy. Oh, God.
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
He hit him with a right hook that just absolutely on the side of the cheek. He got up, though. He fell like a tree.
Don't let him get back up.
Wave it off. What are you counting for?
Why
Stop
would you
counting.
count that?
Wave
His legs just went straight while he was in the air.
He hit him with a left hook, and the guy straightened out and fell over like a tree. But like a tree in a windstorm because he ended up way over there from the force of the punch. Holy shit.
Don't count that, man. Get him help.
Fuck. Get him help. He needs it. November 22nd, 85, in Latham again. He fights Conroy Nelson. 15-7 coming in. He winds up 21-24 in his career. This is a TKO in round 2 at 30 seconds. And, 30 seconds. In round 2, though. So he did last a round. Okay. I'll give him that. Let's see what old Conroy's got to offer.
After a one-round bashing, here's 30 seconds.
And another tall guy. And oh, God. Left. Oh, my
over.
God.
Wow.
Left hook to the face. He looks like he got hit with a baseball bat right now, like the reaction he was doing on the ground. Why are they counting that again?
There's no reason.
What's the point? Don't count that.
There's no reason.
13-0. By the way, the reason we're going through these more than just a quick thing is you have to understand there's a reason why, even if you don't like boxing, even if you're 19 years old and never saw a Tyson fight, even if any of these things, the reason why you know who Mike Tyson is still. Yeah. The reason why his name still, on a Q rating, it's still pretty fucking high. Everyone knows who he is, even if they don't know why they know who he is. So
it's because what he did to other human beings had never been done to that date, and still today has never been done.
Plus, by someone that young,
right?
When he wins the title, he's the youngest heavitweight champion in the history of boxing. Right? Yeah, I mean, he's a fucking phenom, and he's doing it in spectacular fashion. He's not boring. It's everything you want. I mean, it's everything you want. And
in 85, how old was he?
He is 19.
Jesus,
19.
Fuck, man.
And this for me as a kid coming up, Tyson's like a local hero.
Yeah.
Like if you're from New York, he's a local hero. Like when his fights are on the news and shit, they're talking about him, this up and comer. And also I grew up around my stepmother's father, and he would we'd go over there to watch boxing because he would get all the pay-per-views and shit because he was into boxing, obviously. And they would talk about stuff, and Tyson was like the local guy. He knew the fighters that they were sending up there to spar with him because they were all the local guys. I mean, it felt like he was like, oh shit, that's Mike from the Catskills there. He's doing good. So that's what it felt like. December 6th, 1985, at the Felt Forum. This is a big deal for a New York kid because Felt Forum is the small arena inside Madison Square Garden in the building. I think it's upstairs or downstairs? Upstairs. No. Fuck, now I can't remember. Jesus Christ.
It's the side room.
Either way, it's the side room, holds about 5,000 people.
Probably the most prestigious side room in the fucking world.
It's a good side room. It really is. He fights Slammin' Sammy Scaff, who is a 250-pound giant white guy. Yeah. He is 13-6 coming in, ends up 21-14 for his career. Okay. This fight lasts 1 minute and 19 seconds total. And here is the knockout. This guy,
Slammin' Sammy,
looks like he got hit with cinder blocks. God. He's a big, giant, hairy... these punches. Oh, my God.
His face, James, was a...
Look at it, it's covered in hair.
A sponge of blood already.
Oh, already, yeah. And he got hit. That back of the head punch was brutal. It's over. He tried to get up, and he was all wobbly. Ref waved it off.
He stood up. The ref saw his face, was like, oh, God, no, I can't.
Oh, God, no. Jesus, look at your legs.
In good conscience, allow this.
No, TKO at 1 minute 19 seconds, 14-0 for Mike. December 27th, 85, in Latham again, he fights Mark the Storm Young, who was 9-6 coming in, 15-37 for his career, though. Jesus, this fight lasts 50 seconds. Knockout in 50 seconds. Mark Young does not do well here, as we shall see.
Ooh, he looks impressive.
He's trying. He's got balls. I'll give him that. Oh Jesus.
Boy.
Mike hit him with a left, and it took his body a second to realize it was unconscious.
I think he's dead.
I think he might be dead now. He hit him with the left.
Nobody else has had that reaction to a Mike Tyson, but he didn't move.
He hit him with the left, and this guy, after being hit with the left, raised his hands for a second and then just completely fell unconscious on the floor.
I think he's internally bleeding right there.
That was like when Ric Flair used to get hit a whole bunch and then he'd take 3 steps and fall forward like a tree. That was that type of thing. Like, it took his body a second to realize it was unconscious.
That was intense.
Like when Wile E. Coyote runs up. The ref picked his head up like he was a corpse.
Oh, my God.
The ref, he's on his face. The ref lifts up his head, looks at him, and then just waves his hands, shaking it off. Oh, no, he could be dead. He could very well have killed this man.
Check for fog. This guy, I think he's dead.
Like Yellow Dog and Funny Farm. He's alive, then we're taking him with us. So, January 11th. Oh, that's Moving. I'm sorry. Moving with Richard Pryor.
Yes.
Make sure the dog's alive. They put a mirror under its nose. He's alive. Then we're taking him with us. I love that so much. So, January 11th, 86, in Albany, New York again. David Jacko, Jaco.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", this guy.
My God.
Which is a huge size difference from Tyson's 5'10".
Right.
19-5 coming into this fight.
Not bad.
Ends up 24-25.
Not
so
good.
He goes 5-20 from this point on. That's not
From
great.
not bad to not good. That's
not
impressive.
Good. 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and luckily for him, the 3 knockdown rule is in effect because it's exercised in this one here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at David Jacko getting knocked down 3 times. This will be fun. Oh, he's a tall white guy.
Yeah.
A tall, thin white guy. Oh, God.
Oh, there's nothing.
With floppy hair that... Oh, Jesus. He hit him with a left hook. The way his hair popped up, it looks like his head exploded. He's in the corner.
He looks just... Oh, my.
Mike hit him with a left in the forehead.
Yeah.
And he went down. He's still conscious. Hair went crazy. Looks like his brains came out. Here he goes again. He just dodged a left. Oh, no. He dodged the left and tried to duck, and instead of Mike going up top, he just drilled him in the fucking side of the head as he went down. That was brutal.
His first knockdown, he like he slapped his fists on the mat like, God damn it, he's really good.
Fuck, how am I going to beat him? Shit, I can't. So
I'm
January
out of ideas already.
I don't know what to do. January 24th, 86. This is against Mike Jamison in Atlantic City. Mike is 14-9 coming into this fight. Mm-hmm. This fight goes all the way to the 5th round.
Really?
So, this is a long fight for Mike here, but we won't show the whole fight, obviously. We'll just talk about the TKO that happens in round 5. So I think this is Mike's...
God, Jesus.
Left hand to the side. He hit him with a hook.
Yeah.
The guy ducked down, and then he just popped him 2 more times in the face with a hook. Big old white guy
and that's
here.
The first. Jesus!
That was about a 4-punch combo that was all connected. He's got green trunks on like Peter McNeely. This guy. He has chicken legs. You see how skinny that guy's legs were?
That was all they gave him, huh? Nice.
That was it. Yeah, they were like, all right, you're not going to win. Fucking
I want
to
see the other 4 rounds. Like, did Mike even try? Just.
I don't know. The guy might have been good at covering and holding, and holding is a big thing.
Yeah.
And a young fighter you can thwart a young fighter with holding and go the distance because they don't know how to get out of that yet. They haven't had enough experience. Because when you're sparring, generally there's not a lot of holding going on.
Right.
It's a thing that happens in fights. February 16th, 1986, at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. What a fucking terrible sounding name here. This one, he fights the boogeyman, Jesse Thunder Ferguson. So he has 2 nicknames and uses them simultaneously.
And what's his record with this shit?
14-1 coming in.
Okay, that's why.
That's why. But he ends up 26-18.
Humbled.
This ends up, we're not going to see this because this ends up being technically a disqualification, but it gets logged as a TKO to the Boxing Commission.
Okay.
This guy gets disqualified in round 6 for holding. He actually gets disqualified for holding.
You've really got to be holding on for that.
That means you've been warned, you've had points taken away multiple times, and then they finally disqualify you. That's you just don't want to be hit by Mike Tyson, generally.
That's a guy that doesn't he doesn't want to lose in that fashion. He'd rather
he's not getting knocked out.
Yeah. I'd rather
he wants to get disqualified probably.
Yeah.
Like when Tyson bit Holyfield's ear out of frustration. I think it was one of those. So he's 18-0. Next up, March 10th, 86, at the Nassau Coliseum, which is a huge shithole in Long Island there, out on Long Island.
Yeah.
And it's Steve Zuski he's fighting, who's 25-9 coming in. This fight goes to the 3rd round, so he's starting to fight more experienced guys.
Yeah.
Steve Zuski, we'll check out the knockout here. Zowski, Zouski, another white guy. Looks like about a little taller than Mike. This guy's got red hair. Come on, man.
God, Jesus.
Oh, God. Left hook to the jaw just sent him down.
To the ear.
Like when a toddler takes a nap and they just lay down on the ground with their arms out in front of them, you know what I mean, and their fists up. That's what he looked like. Like a toddler napping on the living room floor.
The one that, like, just
driving.
You ran him until they had no more.
Yeah, that's what it is. And he just finally passed out. Stop counting. It's over.
What are you doing?
He's in sleeping toddler pose, which is a not okay. Now, next fight, May 3rd, 1986. We're not going to get footage of this one because it's in the Civic Center in Glens Falls. He fights the Fighting Cowboy, Quick James Tillis.
Hate him.
Again, 2 nicknames, too many. He's 31-8 coming into this fight. A lot of experience, good fighter. 42-22 career. This fight goes all 10 rounds.
Really?
This is Mike's first going the distance, and he wins by unanimous decision.
Really?
So it's his 20th fight, so they gave him a little bit more of a challenge.
Sure.
And there's that. So his next fight, that's May 3rd, 86. He goes all 10. Okay?
And that's the only fight so far that he hasn't knocked the guy out, or I mean, he still gets a TKO on the DQ, but he would have knocked that guy out if he would.
That's why he was holding him.
Yeah,
yeah. I think that's why they.
It was coming.
Yeah, I think that's why they put it in as a TKO officially. So he's 20-0. Now that was May 3rd. 17 days later, he fights again.
Jesus.
After an all 10 round unanimous decision.
I'm sure. Yeah,
that's rough. And he's fighting this time, May 20th, 86. His debut at Madison Square Garden, which for a New York kid is as big as you get. Yeah. He's fighting who, Jimmy? Mitch Blood Green.
That's his first fight?
This is the sanctioned Mitch Blood Green fight here. It's his first MSG fight. It's his biggest fight to date. Mm-hmm. He's 16-1-1 coming in, Mitch. And this fight goes all 10 rounds again.
Wow.
Mitch is a pro, and he knows how to tie you up, and he knows how to get out alive. Except if it's on the street, as we'll talk about, then it's a little harder. Goes all 10 again. Unanimous decision win for Mike. He beat the shit out of Mitch. I mean, he won the fight, but he just couldn't quite get him into a spot to knock him out. 21-0. Next up, June 13th, 86, Troy, New York. He fights Reggie Gross, who will have his own episode. I believe he's a rapist, if I'm not sure.
Oh, you bastard.
So this will make it fun to watch. Yeah. He is 18-4 coming in, and here is this fight. This is Reggie Gross. It says it's in Madison Square Garden here, but I read Troy, New York everywhere else. So he's a taller guy. He's hitting Mike.
He's really swinging.
He hits Mike. Hold on, pausing it. Mike is doing his head weaving and bobbing, and Reggie's hitting it like a bag. And Reggie's Gross has thrown a dozen punches, hitting him on about 7 of them as Mike moves around. Just keep this in mind: a dozen punches. Mike doesn't throw one, just moving his head.
Yeah.
One punch.
Oh my God!
Sorry to laugh, but he's a fucking rapist, so fuck him. After 10, he hit him, unloaded everything he had. Bop, 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 bop. Mike threw one punch and knocked him on his fucking ass with a left hook to the face.
One punch in the face and it's over.
He gets back up.
He got up.
Call it.
Don't.
2 left hands. Holy shit.
He's going to kill him.
He hit him once. That was like getting a piece of wood off a nail. He hit him once and it sort of came off, and then he hit him again and it just flew off. That was a goddamn mess. So anyway, that's Reggie Gross. Next up, William Hosea, who is 12-3-1, 13-6. He ends up in his whole career. This is a knockout at 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
All right.
And want to take a look, Jimmy? Let's take a look.
Love it.
Troy, New York, Houston Fieldhouse.
Oh.
He looks to be about Mike's size, but lighter.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike is thumping him with these lefts.
My.
He's got good defense, though, and a strong jaw.
And he's
good chin.
Oh, boy.
He just pummeled him till he fell over forward.
It looked like, James, he was wobbling because he was trying to defend punches, but I think he may have just been wobbling from the punch he took.
Yeah. He hit him on the right side, knocked him left, hit him on the left side, knocked him right. Next up, July 11th, 86, the Stevenson Hotel in Swan Lake, New York. Oh, very nice.
Is it nice?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure isn't there like a ballet or something? Yeah. So Lorenzo Boyd is 15-5 coming in. His career will be a long one, 30-54-1 for his career.
Yikes.
This guy keeps fighting. This is a second round knockout here. and over a 15-5 opponent in Swan Lake. And Mike thumping him on the hip.
Hunkered over. Oh, don't.
Yeah, he's hitting him with body shots.
Don't stand up.
Mike sets him up with the right. Oh, God. Right. That was the fastest right hand. He hit him with a right hook to the body and followed it immediately with a right uppercut to the face, which is like bang, bang, 2 different angles and fucked this guy's world up.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And this guy is shocked about it, too. So shocked he's gone unconscious.
He's not going to get up. No.
The ref just took the mouthpiece out of his mouth so he doesn't choke on it. He's like, we're not fucking, what are we doing here? This is crazy. Next up, July 26th, 86, against Marvis Frazier, 16-1 coming in, 19-2 for his career. This takes 30 seconds. So Marvis was an up-and-comer, 16-1 at this point. They were looking at him as something, and he's a skinny guy, and Mike just ruins him.
Oh,
he's
God. Dead.
Oh, look at him.
It's over.
Mike kept him up with punches. He hit him with a left, and he went to fall, and he hit him with an uppercut and straightened him out, and then hit him with a left again, and eventually he just crumbled. He was unconscious 3 punches before it went down. He's so unconscious, he is being counted out in the seated position. He's got his legs under him.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting down against the ropes with his head down like he's a fucking junkie that took a nap.
He's certainly out.
Shit, that was absolutely horrific. They immediately are coming in for medical attention on that one. And again, that was, the ref didn't count all the way. He did like 1, 2, 3 and then just waved people in. I don't know if he's alive. 25-0. August 17th, 86, Trump Plaza in Atlantic City. Jose El Nino Ribalta. He's a regular storm here. 22-3 coming into this fight, though. Not bad. This fight goes all the way to the 10th round, and it's a TKO in the 10th round. Okay. But old El Nino also went down in the 2nd and in the 8th as well. So He was just a guy who could get back up and withstand some punishment. Sure. I don't have footage there. September 6th, 1986, Las Vegas Hilton against Alonzo Ratliff, 21-3 coming into this fight. This is in the 2nd round, this knockout at the Las Vegas Hilton.
Okay.
Let's find out how Ratliff lasted. He's a real tall guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Skinny. That left hand.
What the fuck?
Oh, my God. He's got a look on his face like he's in shock. He let him get up.
Oh, God.
Right hook. Stop the fight.
Yeah.
Stop. Oh, God. Please stop the fight. Please stop. Stop letting him hit him like this. Oh, God. That last uppercut was just not necessary.
No.
He was like done, man.
Punches he took.
Even he got up like, what the fuck, bro? How many times do I have to get hit before you stop this fucking thing? He looked mad at the referee.
They should have called Mike Tyson Mike LimeWire Tyson, because he's about to erase your hard drive.
That was fucking wild. He is about to put a virus in that bitch. Next up, November 22nd, 86, Las Vegas Hilton. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. This is the WBC title. He's fighting our friend Trevor Berbick, who we have an episode about. Died tragically. 31-4-1 coming into this fight. Really? Berbick is the champ. You feel bad for him now. Wait till you see this fucking fight, because he gets knocked down. His brain wants to get up, but his legs don't have any bones in them, as we'll find out. He gets up and stumbles and falls down twice while trying to get up. It's sad almost. Here, let's watch this. This is a man losing the heavyweight championship of the world.
Here we go.
So this is literally the heavyweight champ. Oh, God, a right to the temple. Berbick took it. Yeah. A right, a left.
Berbick could take a punch.
He could. Watch him here, though. He gets up. He's like, I'm good. No, I'm straight. No, it's all right. It's cool. I can fight him. Here we go. Second one coming up. They're in clutching. Tyson. That he loves that right to the hip uppercut. Oh, a left hook, a delayed reaction fall down. He didn't know he was unconscious. Watch this. He gets up. Oh, God, can't get up. Falls into the ropes. He's like, oh, wait, no, I can get up now. No, I can't. Across the ring, he fell down. It looks like they put him in high heels while he was unconscious, and he didn't realize it, and he got up and was like, what the fuck? Why can't I stand up? These high heels are a motherfucker.
Remember when you used to take your little brother or sister and like spin them around and then
dizzy.
Stand them up?
And then they just fall over?
Yeah,
that's what Berbick did.
What he did.
Wow. And he was like punching the canvas like, God damn it, I can't stand up. Like his brain was fine, but his fucking legs weren't.
His body won't allow it.
So at 20 years of age and 4 months, 20 years and 4 months, Mike becomes the youngest heavyweight champion in the history of boxing.
And he can't even celebrate it with a beer.
Nope, not legally. March 7th, 87, Las Vegas Outdoor Arena. Hilton Outdoor Arena. He fights James Bone Crusher Smith, who's a really, really good fighter. Yeah. He's 19-5 coming in, 44-17-1 for his career. He's a tough son of a bitch, Bone Crusher, an iron jaw. He's tough. This fight goes all 12 rounds, and it's a unanimous decision win for Mike. He's 29-0. Next up, May 30th, 87, Las Vegas Hilton. He fights Pinklin Thompson.
What?
Who's Pinklin Thompson. Hey, Pinklin, and he goes by Pink. You can go by Pink if you're 29-1 coming into this fight. You can call yourself whatever the fuck you want. So he will whoop your ass. This is a TKO in round 6, and we'll play this briefly here, and then we'll get into a bunch of bullshit and crime and stuff, and we'll get away from the knockouts. But you had to see, God, left hand stumbled, and he was like, okay, I'm good still. I'm good. Yeah. Oh, right hand, a hammer. He's still staying up, though. His guard is way down, Pinklin. Mike is hitting him with a flurry.
Oh, God, it's so over.
Right, left, right. Man, this guy's got a fucking chin on him like a bastard. Wow.
He just bullied him.
That barrage of punches would have knocked out a rhinoceros. Yeah. I swear to God, he would have put a rhino down if you let him fucking punch him that many times
Don't
in
let
the
him
face.
Get up. Jesus.
That is brutal. June 21st, so he's 30-0 right now. 30-0. But that fight, that went to the 6th round, by the way. So at least Pinklin hung in there. June 21st, 87, Hollywood, California.
Yeah.
He is at a Run DMC Beastie Boys concert.
Of course he is.
Okay. He is an honorary bodyguard at the concert. So, they just gave him put a thing around his neck, a lanyard, and they're like, hey, you can hang out on the stage. You're an honorary bodyguard.
Right.
So, I mean, they're
Don't
from
take
Queens.
It too serious.
Yeah, everybody's from New York here is the thing here. The Beastie Boys, Run DMC, everybody. So he, of course, is accused of groping a female parking lot attendant and that night, and also fighting a guy there as well. So, yeah, he's been charged with misdemeanor assault and battery stemming from a scuffle with this parking lot attendant, Jonathan Casares, who ended up with a bloody lip and nose from multiple blows from Mike. He got this for this is his reward for being a good guy and coming to the aid of a female employee who Mike was currently groping.
Oh my God.
So Mike was hugging on this girl who was trying to get away from him. She's a parking lot attendant. He was waiting in the VIP line to get his shit and was like, I'll just grope this chick while I'm waiting. I got nothing better to do.
Why the hell did he do that?
So this guy came over and this is a city attorney says, quote, Tyson is alleged to have grabbed her in a bear hug and said, give me a kiss. This is Tabita Gonzalez, who's 18. She resisted and struggled to get away. That's when the Casares guy came over and asked her if she was all right. Tyson threw a souvenir concert T-shirt into Casares' face and then hit him with an open hand. I was going to say, a bloody nose and lip. That does not sound like Mike Tyson. We saw what happened when, so it's an open hand he hit him with. So Mike knew it better.
Yeah.
Guy wasn't hospitalized or anything, but he said he lost feeling in his bruised and swollen nose.
Yeah,
you got smacked by Mike Tyson.
Your face goes a little numb.
Fuck, this is at the Greek Theater in Hollywood. And, misdemeanor assault and battery. And his manager says, though, quote, things are blown all out of proportion. There's a way to make gain, he says. That's what it is. That's Caton is this manager guy. Very silver, Caton is.
Yeah. I'd like to know the whole reason behind just like bear hugging. I'd like to see how it's. There's no way he just walked up to a girl, bear hugged her, and said, "Kiss me," right?
This is a pattern that it is. This is a pattern that develops. At least if the multiples of women are to be believed, this is kind of how he operates. He doesn't really have a lot of game other than "What's up?" and "I'm going to hug you" or "Hope you go along with it" type of thing. So maximum misdemeanor for assault. They're also talking about charging him with assault with a deadly weapon. Because he's charged with that as well for hitting the guy.
Yeah.
Because
he's a fucking champion.
Yeah. Luckily, the open hand saved him, though. Okay. That was good. August 1st, 87, at the Las Vegas Hilton, he fights. This is for not only his WBC title, but also the WBA and IBF titles as well. Mm-hmm. There's 4 altogether. The ring is the other one, and we'll talk about that later. But this is to get 3 out of the 4 to go for unification later here. He fights Tony TNT Tucker.
Yeah.
Tony Tucker's a bad son of a bitch. 34-0 coming in.
Oh, that's a clever name because he's got 2 T's. So TNT.
Right. That's not bad.
Not bad.
57-7 for his career for Tony. Tony's a bad motherfucker, and he goes all 12 with Mike here.
Really?
Mike gets the unanimous decision, but he went all 12. Tony's a big, tough son of a bitch. He really is. September 29th, 87, the charges against him, the assault and battery charges from the concert, are dismissed here. They said, this is the city attorney, he says, apparently it was a civil compromise, an out-of-court settlement.
Right.
Mike threw a couple bucks at this guy for bitch slapping his face. They said the office's policy is to prosecute crimes of violence. We feel it should have been prosecuted. They said that the judge granted the dismissal over the objection of the prosecution.
Wow.
So the judge was silver as well in this case. Very silver. Tyson's got a lot of silver happening.
That's
sounds like
really amazing, though.
Sounds like in Goodfellas when they bring in fucking Henry Hill for selling cigarettes, and they gives him a little wink, and the judge takes him out. That's what it felt like. So October 16th, 87, Convention Hall, Atlantic City, he fights Tyrell Biggs, which just makes me think of Dave Chappelle's crackhead character. He's 15-0 coming in, though. Tyrell is no joke.
Right.
And he's 30-10 for his career, but let's find out what happens to Tyrell in round 7 here. He goes up to the 7th round, though, so Tyrell is making it.
Yeah.
Tall, thin guy.
He is a big dude.
He's real tall. Good in shape, too, though.
Big block.
Jesus.
Oh, my.
Oh, he almost fell out of the ring. He's hanging out of the ring. He's like, fuck, should I get up or not? He's sitting there deciding, do I even bother with this shit? There he is. He's back up.
Oh, no.
Right hand for Mike. Left hook for Mike.
Body.
He's hanging in there, this guy. Mike sends, left hook.
That's
left hook to the face. That's the one.
Enough.
It's either the right uppercut or that left hook to the face that fucking does it.
And that step to the side that he has right before he levels it.
So he could hit you in the face.
Yeah.
Not the side of the head.
Right.
Yeah.
That step to the side and then line it up and blast. And it's everything he has. And boy, boy.
Joe Frazier would have his shoulders even with you and hit you in the side of the head with that thing, rock your temple. Mike fucking sidesteps you and wallops you right in the face with the fucking the brunt of the glove, man. Hits you right in the sweet spot.
Right in nose and teeth, all of it.
Brutal. So next up, January 22nd, 1988, this is versus the Easton assassin, Larry Holmes, who we know about from the Trevor Berbick episode. Larry is a former heavyweight champion.
One of the best fighters ever. So good.
Amazing. Very large man, too.
Yes.
6'5", huge, good jab.
Yeah.
Everybody says this is the guy who can beat Tyson because he can keep him at a distance. He's got the jab to beat Tyson at first.
Really?
This is what they say. 48-2 coming into this fight for
How big is Larry Holmes?
Larry.
6'5", 6'6"?
I think he's 6'5", 6'6", and a good 250, 60 pounds.
Big fucking man.
With a big old head on him, too. 48-2 coming in, 69-6 for his career. So Larry can fight. This is Mike TKOs him in round 4. And let's watch this because you don't get to see Larry Holmes get the shit knocked out of him like this. Larry Holmes is the type of guy who can hang on.
Look at him.
Oh, right hand, left. Larry's starting to flail now. He's trying to fight back. Oh, that right hook just his legs completely disappeared.
Yeah. There's always that one punch that like in the behind the ring. That's not what it's called. What is it called? Dark side of the ring. When they showed like the brawl for all. When Butterbean hits Gunn that first punch and like
head snaps.
Yeah, and then. Don't let him get back up because it's going to be over. And that's what that just was. That one punch, the eggs are scrambled. You can't put these back to over easy anymore.
No. Oh, his arms are splayed.
Yeah.
He's done. He's out cold. The ref jumped right on his chest and took his mouth gear out, like the mouth guard. That's the first thing he did. He's so unconscious. So he's 33-0. Mm-hmm. He has 3 of the 4 belts. Grace. This is grace, everybody.
It's the best it's going to get, Mike.
By far. Now, February 7th, 1988, Mike completely changes everything. He goes from just being thought of as this heavyweight champion, the best fighter in the world, all this shit, to being tabloid fodder when he marries Robin Givens on February 7th, 88. This is where everything unravels for him. And I'm not blaming her or anything like that, but whatever the case may be, this fucked his psyche beyond belief here and kind of ruined him a little bit. February 7th, 88, that is. Now, Robin Givens, for those of you who don't know her, she's been in a lot of TV movies and stuff like that. At the time that Mike meets her, he was going out with the current Miss USA at the time, by the way. Right? Yes, and picks Robin over her, apparently. She had a guest spot on The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Different Strokes. She was in an episode. The Big Bribe. She played Anne. She is in Beverly Hills Madam, which is a television movie, made for TV movie. She's in an episode of Philip Marlowe Private Eye. And then in 1986, she got a part on Head of the Class, that sitcom. Do you remember that?
I do.
It has Howard Hess from WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yes. What a show.
It was basically like wannabe, like Welcome Back Kotter for the 80s is what they tried to make it type of thing.
They put it on, the time slot for it was so late at night.
It was like 8:30, I think.
Was it?
'Cause it was in a sitcom spot. It
felt
sometime
so
between
much
8
later.
and 10. No, it was in the regular rotation of shit. It was ABC show, and it was like a Wednesday night, Thursday night.
I used to watch it, but it felt like it was so late at night. I was like, I can't believe many people are watching this, but it was a great show.
It was good because when you were a kid, they were like, these were younger. This was like about school. So you were like, oh, wow, like a sitcom that's on at night, like a real show, but it's about kids in a school. This is cool. So I watched it too. She was on it. Some of her stuff is questioned as far as her truthfulness here, I found, of her background. Mm-hmm. They said, well, I'll just read right from a newspaper. The actress's command of the truth has also been questioned. She told People magazine in May 1987 she dropped out of Harvard Medical School after 2 semesters. She told a later interviewer that she was one of the youngest people ever accepted by the medical school. She later told another interviewer that she had studied genetics, biochemistry, and other medical courses at Harvard School of Arts and Sciences, which still later the university registrar's office told People was just one course. Okay. So she's trying to make herself sound smarter than. I mean, she's pretty fucking smart either way. She got accepted
and went to Harvard. Jesus,
I don't really care if you got accepted to Harvard Medical School. Good enough. I don't give a shit if you took 1 class, 3 classes. You're pretty smart.
Gives a fuck if you graduated. Even you got accepted and went there. That's impressive.
She says also, and she's by all accounts this is true, she entered Sarah Lawrence College at age 15 and graduated in 4 years from college. So not bad. And that's when she was going on. Now, Pete, I hate to put it this way, but it's the only way to put it. Nobody likes her.
No.
Like, people don't like her. Like, people that work with her don't like her. She's not, which would explain a lot of Hollywood, kind of how she didn't become a bigger star, is because people don't like her. They don't like working with her. And I'm not saying it's true, but that's how people feel about her. People say she's very aggressive and shit like that, which is great. And she's an actress, so you have to be fucking aggressive to be an actor or an actress. She says that she just gets mad that people think that they're friends with her, and they feel like then she's using them to step up.
Forward.
She's the only student in her college class that has booed at graduation.
This is booed?
Pre Mike Tyson, pre anyone knowing who the fuck she was. This was the whole, nobody fucking liked her in the school.
Wow.
Booed. People don't get, when is the last time you've seen a person booed at college graduate? Is R. Kelly graduating? What the fuck are we talking about?
I didn't even know that was an option.
I never thought about it. I've never heard of this before. She was booed at graduation, according to People magazine. One of her, who was one acquaintance from college, said, quote, Robin is cool, calm, and conniving, and her mother is in it all the way. So her mother, by the way, is always at her side, and her mother is like always, she's going to live with her and Mike.
Oh, my.
And the whole deal. Mom doesn't go anywhere. Mom has a say in everything. Mike's married to 2 ladies when he marries Robin. He's married. Yeah, he's married to both of them. A classmate of hers says, quote, she's really not a nice girl. She goes after what she wants no matter the price, which, fine. There's going to be a lot of people that would say, well, if she was a guy, they would say she was aggressive. They'd also say she's really not a nice guy. That's what they would say. They'd say the same thing about a guy.
Yeah.
They'd say, I'm impressed with what he does, but kind of a jerk, too, at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, so that's you are a dick either sex. Nobody, either way, your business acumen is credited, but you're considered an asshole if you're an asshole. That's generally how it works.
You're allowed to be a ruthless businessman.
Fuck yeah.
But also allowed to be thought of as a fucking jerk.
That's the thing. There's a price that comes with that, and that is you're probably going to be an asshole. You have to be to get ahead, and she's chosen. She doesn't care. She wants to get ahead. Good for her. Who cares?
Right,
She's allowed to do what she wants. One magazine quoted a television colleague of hers. This is somebody that works with her in TV. Quote, Robin has burned every one of her bridges. Her philosophy is, doesn't matter who she bleeps on the way up because she isn't coming back down. That's what I've heard this many times that people have said that you should be nicer on the way up because, on the way down. And she said, well, I'll never be coming back down. So I ain't worried about those people.
A crazy, arrogant thought.
That's a really arrogant thought. That's just, and like I said, this is separate of Mike Tyson and her and everything else. That's just that's vicious.
Before she met the guy.
Yeah, if you heard a comic saying that, you'd be like, what a fucking asshole.
I never want to be around you ever again.
Because we've heard comics like that.
Yeah.
And they're assholes. They're dicks. So anyway, Brian Robbins, who is on the head of the Class show, she actually let his name be put in this, said, quote, she sometimes has an abrasive personality. She can rub people the wrong way. When we fought, she could be vicious. So
when we fought.
Yeah.
So
they dated for a while. That's why.
Wow.
So take whatever he says with a grain of salt because they dated. No one who's dated anybody can give an accurate representation of their personality.
That's
ever.
a great point. Yeah.
That's just not, especially in a professional site. Fuck out of here. You're dated. You're out of that. Givens said, quote, it's hard to find a smart man. I like them book smart, but with common sense. So she gets Tyson, who has neither. He's not book smart, and his common sense is lacking, as we find out in his life. So her mom, on the other hand, is not thrilled about this. Her mom's name is Ruth Roper. And also, she's got her sister with her all the time, and publicists are always there. Her publicists, she's got a whole entourage all the time that comes with her that now Mike Tyson has that he didn't have before.
And she's barely been in TV? Like, why are you so...
Yeah. You're on head of the class. Calm down. And you're like the fifth credited. Like, you're not the star of the show. Howard Hess is the star of the show. And then,
the
goes from there.
Is a bigger deal than you. What's happening?
This got greenlit because he was on WKRP in Cincinnati. So that's the reason why the show is on. And then if you want to be a star from there, great. But they were like, let's give the WKRP guy a fucking show again. We feel like that would be smart.
That show does very well.
Yeah, Ruth Roper is the mother, like we said. Ruth Roper opposed the match, even though she, I guess at least had sex with Dave Winfield, as we'll talk about later on.
Is that right?
The Yankee right fielder at the time. Ruth definitely doesn't like this. Robbins said, quote, she forbid me to see him. Mike and I are very different, but he unfolds on you. I began to learn that we are actually very much the same in our beliefs about tradition and family.
Oh boy.
Wow. March 21st at the Tokyo Dome, this is 21st, 88, at the Tokyo Dome, obviously in Tokyo, he fights Tony Tubbs, who goes by what nickname, Jimmy?
Shit.
Also TNT. Nope.
What?
Tucker already had the name. You can't have it, Tony Tubbs.
Tucker's really good.
That's the thing. Well, Tony's not bad. 24-1 coming in. Yeah. Pretty good. 47-10 for his career.
Okay.
Mike, though, will knock him out in round 2, I believe, and that'll be that. So it's at this point, 2 days later, March 23rd, 88, his longtime co-manager and really kind of his mentor-y type of situation, his not a father figure, but kind of like an uncle, I guess you could say. Close to him, Jim Jacobs, who's an older guy, dies of leukemia this day.
Fuck.
And I guess Jacobs and Caton, the other guy, they had the management company together, and Mike had just re-signed 2 months before this. And now he's mad because he's saying he didn't know how sick Jim Jacobs was, and he wouldn't have signed if he knew that Jim Jacobs was going to die in 2 months, which I'm sure Jim Jacobs wasn't thrilled with dying in 2 months either. So May 8th, 1988.
You're not the only one that's pissed off, Mike.
Right? May 8th, 88. He's driving his $183,000 Bentley.
Oh, my God.
$183,000. 88 money. So, 800 grand now, essentially. So
that's a
late
nice
night.
car.
It's a real nice car. Keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. It's late night on May 8th. They're on their way home to New Jersey from Manhattan. They're going on through the Holland Tunnel. And the Bentley convertible hits a parked car after the Holland Tunnel.
Holy shit.
Fucking lost control. He says originally that it was this is funny, that he swerved to avoid hitting a cat.
In the Holland Tunnel?
After the Holland Tunnel.
Okay.
After that, though, it comes out that he lost control when Robin threw a left hook at him while they were driving.
Oh, Robin.
She started hitting him while he was driving. He swerved, as we've seen in a case recently. When someone hits you while you're driving, you swerve.
Right.
And not that this, whatever, they have no other correlation but that's, I just remember from that video. Right. So that's what ended up happening. He hits a parked car with the Bentley.
Car.
Fender bender, didn't well it good, but probably broke a headlight on the car. But a $10,000 fix for a fucking Bentley. So the cops come and everything like that. He's so embarrassed and so mad at everything, and he says this Bentley has been nothing but bad luck for him.
Yeah.
So the two responding officers that come to take the accident report, he just gives it to them.
Have this car.
He says, you guys take it. Gives them the keys. He goes, it's been nothing but fucking problems for me. Nothing but it's bad luck. I don't want it anymore. It's all yours, guys.
Wow.
So these two police officers.
They can't take it, right?
They fucking do take it. And they hide it in a city garage without telling their superiors that this happened. Yeah. Okay?
Paid off car. It's a Bentley. We're going to take it.
But it's Mike Tyson, so... Yeah. It comes out that he gave his car away at the scene because people fucking watched him give a Bentley to two police officers. That's going to come out, even pre-internet. This is officers Dana Bratton and Stephen Barnes, 34 and 37. They end up being suspended for 10 days without pay and forced to return the car.
Right.
For taking it and not doing it. They said that he said, quote, I've had nothing but bad luck and accidents with this car. You guys take this car and keep it. That's amazing.
And we were willing to give it a chance.
That's fucking awesome. I found, by the way, in the Daily News, they have, look at these people. I'll turn the screen toward you here. They have just 7 random New Yorkers. They ask them, do you see anything wrong with Tyson giving his Bentley to 2 cops?
What do they all say?
Well, one guy here, Rich Venegas, he says, while Tyson may have wanted to give the car away, he was wrong giving it to the Port Authority cops, and they shouldn't have taken it. What must it feel like to give a $180,000 car away? Great that you can afford that.
That's a man that wishes he was a Port Authority officer.
He's a financial analyst, that guy. Next up, Dora Katavid. She's a secretary. Yeah. She says, since the car was his property, he can do what he likes.
There you go.
I'd wish I'd been there when he had that minor accident. Anybody would take a Bentley car offered for free under those same circumstances. Yeah. Here's Vidal Gonzalez. He's an engineer. Quote, I wish I'd have been on the scene of the accident. I'd have let him give me the keys. I'd ask him to sign over that registration. If it cost a lot to insure, I'd just uninsure my 2 other cars.
There you go.
Fuck it, I'll just have a Bentley. Dude, that's awesome. Zalda Augusto, she's just listed as home. I don't know if that's homemaker, just home. Tyson homely. She's not either. She's a pretty woman. Tyson owns a number of cars, and this one seems to have been giving him trouble. He could have had it towed away, but he's wealthy enough to do what he did, and I see nothing wrong with that.
3-1 so far.
It's 3-1. Next up, Derek May, mail clerk. He says, no, but Tyson didn't realize the cops would get into trouble. They shouldn't be reprimanded. The idea of giving away a $180,000 car is so absurd that it should be treated like a joke. That's probably the best, most reasonable thing that anybody says.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's not like it happens all the time.
Right.
It's not like if you take the car, then there's going to be celebrities just giving people $200,000 cars all the time. That's not going to happen. This is a unique situation.
It's 4-1. It's already unanimous.
Yolanda Mercado, another home. She says Tyson was wrong. A person just can't throw the keys to someone and say, take the car, it's yours. She's obviously never seen an 80s movie where someone's late for the airport.
Keep it.
Anyway, it was registered to one of his corporations, so he couldn't legally give it away. Well, he really could, because he could just have the corporation give it away.
Pretty
it's
easy.
fine.
It's some paperwork.
It's his corporation.
Right.
Next, Gerard Mormeal. It's only
we got a
because
Gerard.
Gerard, here he is. He's a mechanic, and he looks like a dork, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't fault the heavyweight champ, but the cops should have known they couldn't keep the car. If it had been me, I'd have sold it and bought 2 cars and a house with the money.
Brilliant. That's my guy right there.
Yeah. They were like, we got a Bentley in a garage. How fucking funny is this? Hey, come look at our Bentley. Hey, look at that.
If they would have been smart, that's what you do. You sell the fucking car and you buy whatever else with it. You don't hang on to the fucking car. Who gives a shit about the car?
That. It's at this point that Robin, a couple weeks before this, Robin and Mike announced that Robin's pregnant.
Oh.
Okay. Then it's announced that Robin went to the hospital, but it comes out that she just had a cold. The baby's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Then it comes out she had a miscarriage after all this. Yeah. Oh, no. But yeah, that ended up happening. And Robin's sister here accuses Mike of striking Robin, causing her to have a miscarriage.
Oh, that's shitty.
That's what the sister says. That's Robin Givens' sister. Tyson denied the accusation, and Robin refused to give a statement, only saying, quote, "We've had a rocky marriage," which isn't a denial or a confirmation.
No, Robin.
Robin, that's too vague. May 21st, 88, he's mad at that Caton guy. He wants the other manager. The one guy died of leukemia. He's got this guy. He said that Caton calls him the best managed fighter in the history of boxing. Tyson said in the New York Post, quote, "They're stealing from me." He said that he's unhappy that Caton cut himself in for 1/3 of $1 million endorsement deal with a soft drink company rather than a quarter.
Yeah.
Now, the endorsements, knowing being in the entertainment industry, we know how this works.
Yeah.
Regular contracts, it's 10% unless negotiated otherwise. That's the standard, unless it's whatever. So you got your 10%, and a lot of people have a manager and an agent. That's 10%, 10%.
Right.
So there's that. Agents that get athletes endorsement deals back in the 80s, because now endorsement deals are huge. Yeah. They got a bigger chunk of it than the regular contract, because the regular contract, Mike Tyson's out there. People are going to come to him for whatever. This is different. You're seeking it out, and then you're negotiating it based on no precedent.
Right.
If you're an athlete who's a defensive tackle, who's the highest paid defensive tackle in the league? Well, you got to be somewhere around there or a little less. You can't say I want 3 times as much money. Whereas this is all the Wild West. It's all what you can negotiate for these deals. So
what does Mike Tyson's face bring to your company in terms of monetary for your company?
Yeah.
We would appreciate being monetarily compensated for that.
Absolutely. So Mike is going to get a lot, but the agent is going to get a bigger cut than the usual 10%, except
15,
a third. It's usually 25 in that range. He took a third of this deal, apparently, which is
crazy.
too much.
Yeah.
That's way too much. A third is ridiculous. He defends himself, though, Caton, and he says, it's not even Mike that's upset. It's Don King that's causing the rift.
Okay.
At this point, Don King has begun hanging out with Tyson, begun following him around, trying to get him to bring him to his promotion, and he wants to manage him. So Caton is publicly saying at this point that he's trying to steal his client. This is bullshit. He says Tyson's trying to scheme to break out of his contracts, is what Caton said, and it's all Don King. He said, quote, Don King knows I have 2 legally binding contracts with Mike, and he knows that my management contract with him has 3 years and 8 months to go. Why is he spending all this time with Mike is a puzzlement to me. In other words, like I got him under contract, so fuck him. If he wants to enter litigation and try to break my contract with Mike, he'll have to go all the way to the United States Supreme Court.
Jesus.
He is not giving Mike away. Now, which makes sense because he's brought him up to this point, so now he wants the big cash in, which is the fight's coming up. Now pay-per-view is starting.
Right.
Now it's a different ball game. It's not just some goddamn fight on whatever. It's pay-per-fucking-view. So King has promoted all the title fights, but now he wants to manage him as well. This is, he says, quote, Jimmie, talking about the guy who died, invested several $1 million from Mike's first $2 million fights and bought him 2 single premium life insurance policies that will pay him $250,000 per year for life beginning at age 25, which is smart. They put it in that's what you could do back then. These premium life insurance policies, if you put a shitload of money in, they will pay you that much after that. It's an investment policy, basically.
It's like an annuity.
An annuity. They used to do it all the time in the ABA and the USFL, and it would make guys that they're still getting 50, 60 grand a year from contracts in the 70s.
Wow.
From that. So it works out well, just not at the time. So under the present law, he says that income will be tax-free as well.
Oh, that's
already
beautiful.
paid it. So that's part of it. So he said, we've set him up beautifully for his future and all this shit. And he said, we invested in that. That's ours. We're getting that money back now. That was money we put into those for him. So this was when he was like 19. So he said, in addition, he says that Mike is midway through a 7-bout contract with HBO that pays him $26.3 million.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike is, for the 80s, no athlete's making this money.
That's so much money.
The top paid baseball player makes like $1.5 million a year at this point in time, literally. And that's what it is. Joe Montana's making like $1.3 million a year right now. And he's the Super Bowl champ and everything. So it's fucking crazy. He said that Mike earned $8 million from the Japanese promoters for the Tony Tubbs fight. He's saying, we're getting him tons of fucking money. This is ridiculous. He said, Mike told me he was upset and wanted to talk about everything. We talked for most of the day. The accountant showed him all the records. We had dinner together, and I think we showed Mike that he's been well served by Jimmie. When Mike drove me to the train station that night, he said to me, Bill, you are my manager, and you will be as long as I fight. He said, years ago, Customato, he said, lectured Mike many times about Don King and explained to him what a ripoff man he really was. As we find out, he really is. Mm-hmm. He told Mike never to get mixed up with the man. I'm trying to, that was only when he was promoting. That was before he was managing. I'm trying to protect my own interests in all of this. Of course I am, but I'm also trying to protect Mike's interests. And I know Jim and Cuss would have wanted me to. 2 dead people. He really fucking hates Don King. Yeah. Really hates Don King. He said, he goddamn hates him a lot. He talks mad shit about Don King. He also says, quote, when Mike was 15, Cuss wanted first-rate sparring partners for him in Catskill, and we paid up to $1,000 a week for them to come up. Yeah, because these guys were getting the shit beaten out of him. You had to pay extra. I met a guy who sparred with Tyson at this point when he was 15 years old, and he was a big fucking giant white guy, and he said he hit like he had fucking cinder blocks on his fists. He said, I've never been hit like that before. They're so heavy. He said he hit like, oh, what the fuck? How is this kid 15? So he said, Jim and I subsidized Cuss's entire operation those days. We even bought the equipment for the gym and paid the utility bills.
Wow.
So he's like, we want our shit back, basically. June 5th, 88, Jesus Christ, Mike Tyson's mother-in-law claims in a lawsuit filed in Manhattan Supreme Court that Dave Winfield gave her an STD in 1985.
I want to know which one.
Dave Winfield, if you don't know, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, played for like 20 fucking years and for tons of different teams. Yeah. And he, I find that fucking hilarious.
And she puts that up for all of us to know about.
Yeah, no shit. Winfield said they're really hitting below the belt. Bump. He actually said that. I didn't make that up. He said they're really hitting below the belt. And he wasn't trying to be funny, I don't think.
Dave.
He said, the only thing I can tell you is speak to my lawyer. So there's that. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Winfield said the claim was unbelievable. And it turns out, though, that lawyers for both sides said an out-of-court settlement had been reached, with Winfield saying the matter was resolved without any admission of guilt on Winfield's part. So there's one of those.
I don't have to say anything. Goodbye.
So it's been like 3 months. Marriage is already a fucking disaster. It's a goddamn mess already.
Really?
It's a fucking disaster. The Roper, the mother, she said it took her about 5 months to get along with the boxer, with Mike.
Why?
Couldn't get along with him just didn't like him. Givens said, "Thank God. If they hadn't, we wouldn't have been married. I wouldn't have been able to live my life. My mother and I are very close. She's a strong woman, and 90% of the time she's right. So that's scary too." Yeah, boy. So there's that. The sister is there also. She doesn't like Mike Tyson either.
No.
But they're all going to move in with him, apparently. He said, the mother said, quote, I felt it's all been a big mistake from the beginning, what the mother says. Michael's supposed to be the good guy and everybody else is supposed to be abusing him. Nobody knows how abusive Michael is. Robin has definitely been harmed emotionally, not as much physically, but you never know what he's going to do. Wow. She also recalled one bad incident. I think this is the sister. She said, quote, he knows how to hit her and where to hit her without causing any real damage. We had adjoining bedrooms, and I was scared, so I made Robin come into my room and close both doors. I put the latch on and the deadbolt. He just kicked the 2 doors in. I knew he was strong, but I was, like, amazed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking interior deadbolts. They're not really it's just a little. Yeah, most people could do that. Yeah. So they said that he's changed as well. Robin doesn't deny the sister's story, but says, quote, we've had a hard 4 months of marriage. He's under a lot of pressure, and it's made him act in ways I've never seen before. He has changed tremendously in the year and 5 months I've known him.
Okay.
So that's what she says. And it gets worse from there. More problems with the manager here. I guess Mike again wanted to look over the books. And he did, and they said that Mike couldn't understand the math, and that's when Mike brought out Don King to look over the books now to make sure everything's good. His next fight is against undefeated Michael Spinks, who everybody actually says has a shot against Mike Tyson. I remember they were like, this guy could do it. Mm-hmm. He's a counter puncher. He's a boxer. He's a slick boxer. He's exactly the guy that everybody said could beat a Tyson. This guy here. So. Spinks is the younger brother of former heavyweight champion Leon Spinks, by the way. And Spinks said, if it's anything like what happened to Leon, I can understand maybe what he's going through. I don't know if it will hurt him like it did Leon. It's all according to what kind of person he is. So, yeah, there's that. Spinks says, if Tyson's all that invincible, he must wonder how come he can't pop his fingers and clear everything up. But I don't think any of it will affect him in the ring. So, yeah. No shit. Tyson on Spinks says they asked him, will his personal life will affect your fight with Mike Spinks? And he said, quote, I can fight Michael Spinks right now. I fought bigger, stronger men. I believe I fought men that he couldn't beat. I've watched him fight a couple times. I know what he has. He's a counter puncher. He throws combinations very fast. He's a good fighter, but good fighters get beat.
I'm not scared of him.
Ain't scared of shit. So they also said that the main thing in this newspaper article, they're talking about how Spinks has been living in this pressure cooker for 12 years. He knows what it's like from his brother. He was in the Olympics. He knows how to handle pressure. Okay. So there's a lot of people saying, Spinks beat Larry Holmes twice too. So they're like, he beat a bigger man like that. And, he said it could happen basically. Mike Tyson's trainer says, quote, but once the fight starts, then his demeanor will change. He'll know this guy can fight. The first time Mike hits him, that'll change all of Spinks' plans.
Yeah.
So I would say so. Tyson says he wants to get in there, and he says what makes him such a fierce fighter is his fear of being humiliated by losing. Mm-hmm. Doesn't want to be humiliated.
Is that where everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face came from?
That's what it is. Yeah. Exactly what it is. Yeah. It's exactly what it is. Every time I dream about my fights, I lose. When I lose, it's usually a dramatic way of losing. It's very realistic. It's frightening. Before he knocked out Holmes, he dreamed of beating Holmes, and he said, you wake up and you're sweating, and the dream seems so real. So he said, got to get this out of my head. So he's talking about when there's money involved, this is a big deal. He says it's overwhelming because I was brought up with Cuss. We didn't care. I mean, Cuss, he was even broke, and he was the happiest man in the world. He was happy being with me. God, I wish he was here. I wouldn't have problems if Cuss was around. I wouldn't have problems. I never had problems. It was just so fun when we were together. And then he said, I can't even talk about it. Okay. So He misses cuss real bad, basically. Everybody wants to get in on the Mike Tyson act, by the way. Herschel Walker, who was a current Dallas Cowboy running back at the time, said, quote, "I'd like to get Mike Tyson in the ring. If he beats Michael Spinks, I'll be the only one left for him to fight."
Herschel, you are legitimately dumb.
Maybe that's what happened to Herschel now.
Is that his problem?
Fucking brain damage.
Does he have that much? He had that much brain damage back then. Can you fucking imagine? He thought he could fight Mike Tyson in 1987.
He wasn't even a goddamn fighter.
No. You run yardage for touchdowns. You don't take punches in the face. It's an entirely different sport.
Oh shit. So I have the Spinks fight here. June 27th, 1988. I saw this on pay-per-view live. Really? I was very excited by this. This was amazing. Spinks is 31-0 coming into this fight.
Jesus.
He is the ring heavyweight champion, so he's the last for unification, the last belt that Mike needs. And people think he can beat Mike, and this fight lasts 90 seconds. And this is, by the way, Spinks' last fight. He comes in 31-0 and the champ, and then he never fights again. And you'll see why.
Okay.
This is the entire fight. Right here. We'll watch the whole thing because it's 90 seconds, and we cut the first 10 seconds of dancing. Mm-hmm. Spinks is like, okay, I'm okay. Mike's throwing some blows. Spinks is starting to feel...
Oh, he is overmatched.
Yeah, he's overmatched power-wise. He's feeling the power, and he's like, oh, shit, I don't know how I'm going to get around this. He's trying to figure it out. When Mike punches him, Spinks gets all, swats it away like it's a bee flying at him. Really? Like he doesn't want anywhere near him, which is not Spinks' style.
Yeah.
And so you could tell he's totally out of his element here.
Works, too. This is work to him. He's being put through it.
Mike is stalking him like prey at this point. And now he's really going to step it up. Hits him with a right, another right. Spinks is covering up now. He tried to throw a punch back.
The yoke is running.
Here comes the left uppercut and a body blow. Right body blow. He just went down to one knee and stood right up and took the standing 8 count. You can tell he's okay, but he's like, I'm fucked. I don't know how I'm going to beat this guy. He's hitting me with body blows.
That punch to the head that opened his body up was
boom.
Dear God.
Left hook, right uppercut he hit him with a right uppercut square in the fucking face, and he just went right back flat on his fucking back.
His knees touched.
Done.
They just like spaghetti. They just went together.
And that was the biggest fight that everybody was waiting for. Yeah. And Tyson just was like, that didn't take fucking long. That was easy. He didn't even break a sweat, for Christ's sake. That was wild.
He wasn't even breathing hard yet.
35-0. The next day, or June 27th, that's the same day. It's that same day he sues his manager to break their contract.
Okay.
He sues Caton.
He wanted the other guy.
Settles the Caton suit out of court, reducing Caton's managerial share from 1/3 to 20% of purses. Okay. So he instead sues as a settlement, but he's still in with him there. Mm-hmm. Now, they're talking to Robin Givens all the time, and Mike's making all these millions, and all they can talk about is all these millions. Mm. And Robin, unfair or fair or either way, is being portrayed in the media as just a gold digger. They're out and out calling her a gold digger. Like, you're marrying the fucking richest famous guy right now in the way. Of course, you love him. Right. He seems like a real conversationalist, I'm sure. Like, that's what everybody's saying.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, everybody's got to have a somebody, So, anybody that he's going to have is going to be a quote-unquote gold
They're all going to.
That's so shitty.
Unless he marries, fucking Imelda Marcos at this point. Yeah. He's going to, it's going to be a fucking... So she says in the paper, quote, "I'm not a gold digger." That's her quote.
Okay.
She says, absolutely not. She says Tyson says his loyalties rest with Robin and her mom, not with his manager at this point. Okay. Robin and Ruth, they come as a pair, not just Robin, Robin and Ruth, which sounds like a fucking nightmare. Not judging, but that sounds like a nightmare.
Sounds awful.
They also, the Catons deny, because they said they even objected to the marriage, the Caton management. Caton denies that he objected to the marriage. Ruth Roper, Robin's mom, said that Caton hired an undercover detective to stir up trouble.
What?
Tyson said, quote, "He's trying to embarrass us. He's trying to make it look like I can't control my wife and mother-in-law and that they are gold diggers. He's got my mother-in-law giving the shovel to my wife. I tried somehow to overlook it, but I can't now." So Caton said that Don King is behind it all. He called him a, quote, "vicious, lying SOB and Satan."
And Satan.
And Satan. Yeah. And he said he has, quote, "enslaved Tyson."
Oh.
Wow, he's getting pretty... that's a lot.
That's a harsh accusation.
That's a harsh accusation. Caton hired an attorney and all this type of shit. At some point here, Robin goes to Russia to film a episode of Head of the Class. Mm-hmm. During this episode, Mike goes with her. It's Robin, Ruth, and Mike, and some publicists and the whole entourage goes to Russia. So apparently they had several domestic squabbles in Russia.
Yeah.
Apparently Tyson couldn't sleep when he was over there, and he had some problems. He reportedly chased his wife and mother and her mother's publicist. Why does her mother have a publicist, first of all? That's ridiculous.
What is her talent? What does she need to...
Right? They were in their night clothes, and he chased them around the hotel lobby, which is ridiculously crazy. Then he hung from a railing over a 7-story atrium just to hang there. Yep, just hung off the side like, look what I can do.
7 stories up.
7 stories. Then he came home early before the trip was over.
Okay.
So there was that. August 23rd, 1988 is the Mitch Bloodgreen incident. 4:30 in the morning outside of an all-night... You listen to the Mitch Bloodgreen episode. Outside of an all-night clothing store in Harlem.
He got his face pumpkined.
Mitch talks shit saying, "You don't want to fight me again. You couldn't knock me out, blah, blah, blah." Gets in Mike's face. Mike knocks him the fuck out with one punch in the street. Yeah. You don't want to get hit bare-fisted by Mike. And Mitch's face looked like he stuck it out in front of an 18-wheeler as it drove by. And Mike has a hairline fracture in his right hand.
Oops.
So nobody gets away clean, but whatever. A couple days later, they're already talking settlement because Mitch is going to sue Mike over this, which is bullshit for a boxer to sue when he's tried to start a fight. Right. Green agreed to drop the assault charges against Tyson after receiving a written offer from Tyson's camp offering him a title fight if he can beat a heavyweight ranked in the top 10. So he said, if you can beat him, yeah. He said, Mitch said, quote, "I'm not dropping the charges. This is no quid pro quo. Now this is an absolutely attractive fight." Now it is a big fight because it's now people want to see it. So, that's how that goes. September 4th, 1988, a week later, Mike has what is called by most as an attempted suicide here. A really weird one. He takes Robin's BMW and drives it into a tree as fast as he can.
Oh, Mike.
Which is a very strange way to try to kill yourself.
And
not efficient.
I mean, if it doesn't work, that is just painful.
Yes, and he does. He suffers a head injury. Mm-hmm. Now, initial reports are that he slipped on a rain-soaked road near his training camp. It's up in the Catskills. He was at the woman's house that he lived with up there. He said before every fight he goes up there to, his pigeon coops are up there and all that shit. He clears his head out. And they said at 11:20 a.m., he just drank orange juice, so it's not like he was out partying. 11:20 a.m., Mike's automobile skidded on a wet road near his training ground in Catskill, New York. And that was that. He suffered a head injury, was brought to the hospital. They said he's in stable condition, and they're going to undergo more neurological tests and all that kind of shit. His next fight is against Frank Bruno, and they're hoping it's not postponed because of the head injury. Because the boxing council considers that knockout the same as if he got knocked out in the ring. So he can't fight for a certain amount of time. His manager, Caton, said, quote, "Mike is fine. I have no real concern. But unless he's perfect, he won't go. Only if he's perfect will the fight go on." So he said, according to the doctors, he's in A1 shape, ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
So there's that. He said that he was knocked briefly unconscious, but came to and spoke to Camille Ewald, and who's the woman there. And this is before the ambulance took him to the hospital. They said also he's got an abnormal heartbeat, but it's Mike's normal heartbeat. They find that every time they examine him. So
he suffers from Mike Tyson.
He's got a little bit of that. So what ended up happening here is she says, Ewald says, when Mike came to, he said, what happened? And I told him the car skidded. He kept going on, but not for long. I started to smack him around for a little bit. He seemed dazed and maybe scared and a little embarrassed. And, he fucked this BMW up really good. Really, really bad. He said he had parked it in the grass because the night before when he came up, first thing he wanted to do was see his pigeons. So, they said he parked in the grass. It was just real slippery. Later on, it comes out that this was a kind of a weird half-assed suicide attempt, essentially.
That's
that he was
fucked up.
A very, 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 very weird thing to do. She said that, she watched him do it. She was trying to call him, tell him there was a phone call for him, but he had already drove away with the windows up. She didn't hear him, and she watched him crash into this tree. Later on, it comes out a year later that he threatened suicide before he did this. He had said, I want to kill myself, and then he did that, and he was doing it to attract more attention from Robin. He was trying to get Robin to stop ignoring him, is what he said.
Gross.
So he drove her car into a tree. Fuck, man. Givens at this point isn't real nice about it. She says, quote, without me, there'd be no Mike Tyson. Oh, that's Caton. I'm sorry. That's Caton, not her. Okay. That's not her. Caton, the manager, said, without me, there'd be no Mike Tyson. And suddenly these people are interested in his welfare, and I'm not. I'm outraged because Robin came out and said that he doesn't care that Mike's hurt. And he's like, fuck you. I've known him forever. It's interesting. September 30th, 1988. This is a big deal. Mike Tyson, Robin Givens on Barbara Walters for 2020.
Oh, boy.
Big fucking deal.
Talk about domestic violence.
Yep. But he doesn't really know what's coming. And Robin, he's medicated for this, as he puts it. Robin's mom makes sure he's real medicated, he said, so he's, cool, because he wanted something to be calm and collected. She said, while he's sitting next to her, they're sitting next to each other, she called being married to him, quote, torture, pure hell, worse than anything I could possibly imagine, is what she said.
I'm right here.
He was sitting right there. She said that he had an extremely volatile temper and said that he had severe mental issues and had hit her before.
Oh, boy.
She said, I think people see that Tyson temper about every 3 months. He's got a side to him that's scary. Quote, he shakes, he pushes, he swings. Sometimes I think he's trying to scare me. So, fuck, man. They talk about Russia. She said, there are even times when I thought I could handle it. And just recently, I've become afraid. I mean, very, very much afraid. For instance, in Russia, I was afraid. Michael is a manic depressive.
Oh, my.
She says now. She said, I don't know what Mike Tyson would be without my mother.
What?
That's what she says. Quote, I don't know what Mike Tyson would be without my mother.
Now,
heavyweight champion of the fucking world like he was before you met her. And fucking Miss USA. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't care. If he's really abusing her, that's fucking terrible, and she should be calling him out for it. That's the worst. But no matter what's happening, to say I don't know what Mike Tyson would be without my mother when your mother's fucking known him for a year and he was already heavyweight champion of the fucking world by then. You got a lot of fucking sack on you, sister, for saying that shit.
Without your mom in his house, he'd be a man with another toilet bowl without an infectious disease on the lid.
He'd be a guy who isn't sitting in front of Barbara Walters, probably.
Right.
But no, that could happen. Without the mother, they could have fought, so that's actually unfair.
What a sick claim, though. He did this before you.
Then she said, what we would be. I mean, she's been the glue that kept us together.
Oh.
So she said that, then she corrected it to what we would be.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Been the glue that's kept us together. Now, she says that she was afraid of Mike, afraid that Mike could spiral out of control if she asked for a divorce. She said, quote, because they said, well, what about a divorce? And she said, he would be alone, and I don't want that to happen. He would have gotten so bad that I think maybe one day he would have been more deliberate and killed himself or hurt somebody else. So they asked Mike about the possibility of a divorce, and he says, my wife would just have to ask for it, and she has every penny I have. She can leave right now, take everything I have, and just leave. She has the right to do it. She has the power to do it.
Wow.
That's what Mike said.
That's a lot of drugs he's on.
Yeah, well, he's also trying to be like, I'm a good guy that doesn't hit my wife while he's, and he probably hits his wife. Yeah. So he explained later on, he talked to Barbara Walters in 2010 and explained his behavior during the interview, what happened. He said, quote, I was a young kid. He was only 22 at the time. He said, and I got, shanghaied in the moment. I was just bushwhacked there. He said that he was under medication during the interview. And but then he also said he did hit Robin before. He admitted on Oprah again in 2009. He said, quote, I have socked her before and she socked me before as well. It was just that kind of relationship. That's what they did.
Yeah.
It's volatile as fuck. Separate.
Let's probably be honest, too. I mean, granted, he's dangerous. He's a man. He's stronger than her.
He's not feeling her. She weighs like a $110.
Yeah, I doubt he hit her like he hits Larry Holmes.
Well, I know that's true because she'd be dead otherwise.
She's still there breathing.
It's not how hard you hit. It's the controlling. Abusiveness is a controlling thing.
Right. And she's seen him hit grown men, so she knows what he's capable of. So even a love tap or whatever the fuck he does it's threatening enough to remind her that I do this for a living.
It's dangerous as shit.
It's very controlling and shitty.
In 2016, Robin did an interview with Oprah about the interview that they did with Barbara Walters in 1988.
Doing interviews about interviews now.
Yeah, that's it. We're getting real meta with this shit. Oprah said, do you regret the interview? And Robin said, well, I think that I was in no state to really sit and do anything and try to handle it. I was such a precocious kind in the sense that I thought I could handle it. I can make it work. I can go talk to the doctor and I'm going to save him and he's going to take medicine. Oprah said, you were pretty vilified at the time. Let's address the gold digging. Robin said, this is what I would say about the gold digging. If I was digging gold, I had dug and hit the jackpot. There wasn't anything I wanted I couldn't have. You can drive all those cars. I couldn't, you can't drive all those cars. I couldn't wear all the diamonds I had. And if I was digging gold, why the hell, excuse me, why would I leave with nothing? I didn't leave with pennies. I didn't leave my house with anything. I just left. That's not exactly true. Calm down, Robin.
Yeah.
They had a settlement for $10 million. That's not nothing.
It's hardly nothing.
Yeah, she'll claim that she didn't get it, but it was a court settlement for $10 million. So if she wanted it, she could have got it. Right. It's a fucking divorce settlement. Try to not pay your divorced wife $10 million you owe her and see what happens. Fucking ridiculous. You can get it. Robin said that Mike was physically abusive even before they were married. She said, after that, I said, I'm not going to see this man anymore. And then the phone calls started coming and he was crying, telling me how much he loved me. And I'm going to say something that might sound very, 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 very strange. 4 verys. One very, 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 very strange. I honestly thought, wow, this man must really love me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, clearly not.
That sounds like 22-year-old love, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 22-year-old
love. OJ and Nicole is what it sounds like.
That's emphasized with an unbelievable amount of money.
Absolutely. And they eloped.
Yeah.
And she said the abuse increased.
I'm sure.
She said she tried to hide it, but her mother finally figured it out and confronted her. She said, I knew that it was dangerous and I knew that it had gotten so tough emotionally, but we were just in it together. She said it was a cycle. The highs were so high and the lows were so low. And Oprah said, quote, you might ask yourself, why would Robin, a young, beautiful, successful woman, stay?
Yeah.
Good Christ.
We might, Robin? Oprah? We might ask that.
We might ask that. Robin says, with Michael, I felt like I had a purpose. I really felt like I had to protect him and love him and convince him the world can be an okay place. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to fix somebody, he is the ultimate wounded puppy to try to fix.
That's a hell of a hobby project.
Yeah, if you're a fixer, he's the project. He's like a 63 Volkswagen Beetle
with all kinds of problems.
All sorts of shit. There's like there was supposed to be electrical. There's just string in there. You're like, that's not conductive to electricity.
The valves are just blowing oil out of them.
Spraying it. Oprah said, did you love him? Were you in love with him? Robin says, I was. The fact that I fell for Michael, I still feel now. It's a love that doesn't go away, you know? It's a part of my heart that belongs to him. So October 2nd, 1988. By the way, that was like 5 days before October 2nd. Yeah. October 2nd, 1988, police are summoned.
Oh, boy.
to their Bernardsville, New Jersey estate after Mike gets super mad and starts hurling furniture out of the window, which is what the Iceman did when he got a temper. He would pick a fucking marble table up and throw it through a bay window. Wife Robin, that's a Patreon episode. Wife Robin flees with her mother here, takes off, her and her mom. She apparently she said she got up and said I have to pack to go to California to start filming Head of the Class. Mike said me too, and I'll pack, I'll come with you. Mother-in-law is also at the table. She said, now Mike, we agreed you can't go to Los Angeles, it would be distracting on the set. Mike says, I'm going. Robin slams her hand on the table, says you're not going. She said, if this is the way you're going to be, Mike, we can't be married. So then he blows up. Two bodyguards Robin had hired to protect her from Tyson in this situation. She has bodyguards in her home from her husband. Wow. First of all, that's not going to help you probably against Mike Tyson. Second of all, leave
Get
if you
a divorce
need two bodyguards.
Now. If you are thinking of hiring bodyguards, and you have the money, obviously.
Yeah. But you have the money, you have your mom, you have support, you have places to go.
Get the fuck out of this.
Go. Your mom's even telling her. Fuck, man. He picks up a sugar bowl and flings it through the dining room window.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. He says later on about it, quote, so what? I paid for it, didn't I? Fair enough.
Okay.
Like when Richard Pryor shot up his car or Jim Brown beat up his car, he's like, I own that fucking car, so I figured I could beat that. But it's still a transference, though, so it's not great. He then grabbed an andiron. What the hell's an andiron?
Is that?
Oh, is that the fireplace thing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so. And begins to smash dinnerware and crystals and the windows. Yeah. So he just starts busting the whole house up.
With a fire poker.
He then flung more shit through another window, begins to break apart antique chairs, tossing them piece by piece through the broken window. He's just taking furniture apart. One of the bodyguards slips away and calls the cops. So they call. This is 10 a.m. This is going on. 2 cars are dispatched and everything like that. They go to the mansion and they see, holy shit, there's furniture in the yard. There is Robin and her mother have like half-packed luggage in the car, speeding away once the cops get there so they can get away from him. It's a fucking mess, an absolute mess. The wife and mother drive a few miles down the road. This is Robin and her mother, and they go back and call. They left behind some luggage as well as her head of the class script that she needs to study.
She needs that, yeah.
So they call for police protection to go back and retrieve her items. Meanwhile, Mike takes off in a chauffeur-driven Bentley.
Somebody else driving. Brilliant.
Yep. He ends up going to Bill Caton's office and, whatever, tells him that it's my mother-in-law that's been doing this the whole time. I'm sorry for everything that's happened. He popped up at his manager's office and said, all the shit that's coming, it wasn't even Don King, it's my mother-in-law. Wow. And it's over now, so it's all good. They said that later on that day, he was at a gym in Queens. One of the fighters said he was in a marvelous mood.
His wife and
Weird.
Mother-in-law weren't there, so he was smiling.
Like someone who's bipolar. He's a little up and down.
Right.
Over the next couple days, Robin announces she's not yet ready to launch divorce proceedings yet, though. Even this happened. They said they want to wait until. In the papers, they all say that she's waiting till February when they've been married a year, and that'll strengthen her legal situation for. That's what people are saying. So he said that I'm hurt because I'm in love, is what he said. He said, I'm not going to any doctor. I'm not taking any pills. I'm okay. He said his mood is improved and he's feeling better and he won't go to the doctor or take pills, which we all know nowadays Mike needs pills.
Yeah, that's not healthy at all.
Absolutely not. But back then that was considered like, you're fighting through your problems in the 80s. Yeah. Right. So he told the press about Robin, quote, I'm not in a hurry to see her, but he said he loves her, but love is a feeling, and I'm not going to give up my life for that.
Okay.
So like 2 days later, Robin files for divorce, even though she's not filing for divorce. She said that she doesn't want anything from him, not a dime. She said, quote, I never married Michael for money. Therefore, this represents no loss for me other than the loss of losing my husband. I've never said one bad word about Michael or done anything to hurt him personally. Well, you've said bad words, but they might have been true.
You
just say I said what was true.
You sat
just
next
say
to
I said true shit.
You just told America that being married to him was the quote-unquote worst thing ever.
The worst thing ever. So he said, Mike Tyson, his divorce lawyer, said, quote, "We consider it a knockout." Yeah. What a dumb thing to say. Yeah. "I think she's become aware she was asking for something she shouldn't be entitled to. I think she chose to take this road for her own self-interest. This is not a lady that gave up a career. This is a lady that makes a lot of money. She's not entitled to any of Mike's money." Yeah. She didn't. She kept her job. He's not like he said, "Quit your job. You have to take care of me," or whatever. So that's fair. So, anyway, they have all this shit and assets and everything like that and all that fucking shit. So they said that this 23-year-old girl, this is his asking Mike's team whether Robin's trying to repair her image by saying she doesn't want any money. Mm-hmm. And they said, quote, "This 23-year-old girl put $10 million where her mouth was. She doesn't have to convince anybody. She could have the worst public relations image in the world. She could be the witch of all time. And if she had $10 million in the bank, she could laugh at all of you." He said, "What fucking difference does it make?" Which is pretty fucking funny. Also, they're saying Givens filed for divorce in California, which has community property.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than
New Jersey, where it's all clear break.
Yeah, so they said, that's real fucking interesting. So Mike is sitting in his home now, in his giant mansion with broken fucking windows, furniture in the yard. He's literally got nothing in the house but broken crystal and furniture and all his shit.
Look at everything he did today.
He's super fucked. He's sitting there. He's like, now what do I do? He's always had people to kind of help him with stuff, and he's got nobody to help him here. He doesn't know what to do. And he's looking to the sky, and he's like, if only somebody could help me put this all back together. And just then the doorbell rings, and it's Dexter Manley, interior designer from New York City. Oh, boy. And he says, "How is it you've come to arrive here? Seriously. Oh, my God. Furniture flying out of windows. You're fighting with your mother-in-law in Russia. Oh, my God. You're in a hotel embarrassing everybody, hanging off of atriums. Yeah. You, sir, are white trash. I'm sorry. You're white trash, obviously. I'm looking in your yard. I'm so surprised there's not like an engine hanging from a tree. That's the type of trash you are, sir. There's antique furniture spread throughout the lawn. That's trashy, and it's
pieces of them.
Let me in! I want him! Vince, no, Vince, he's been through enough, Vince, seriously. Oh my God, you're only gonna make it worse. Vince, please. I need him. Bring him to me. I am fully erect. Do you understand that? Dexter? Vince, oh my God. Oh, he's coming to the open window. Mike, oh my God. Mike, hide, please. Oh my God. Mike, run. And poof, in a poof of feathers and 1099s. Yeah. And Vince McMahon trying to climb through your broken window. They're gone. And Mike's like, maybe I do need pills.
Yeah.
That shit was a trip. October 14th, a week after she sues him for divorce, Mike countersues for divorce and an annulment in New Jersey, which, unlike California, provides for only, quote, fair and equitable distribution of property.
Sweet.
So he's trying to do that. Mike said that Givens tricked him into a marriage. You can't be tricked into a marriage.
You're in your 20s, sir.
Get the fuck out of here, and waged a campaign to publicly humiliate him, strip him of his manhood and his dignity, and destroy his credibility as a public figure. God damn.
She is diabolical.
Fucking A. He also raised the gold digging charge, saying that Givens was motivated solely by personal aggrandizement and a need to enhance her personal wealth. He further charged that his wife lured him to the altar by falsely claiming to be pregnant.
Oh?
That's what he says. They deny that, obviously, her side. They said, Jesus Christ. He says, I'm still madly in love with Robin. I can't go back with her. I couldn't do it. But the worst part is that I loved her. I think she's basically a good person. But now, after all of this, who would want to be with her?
Yeah,
a lot of people, probably. Still, I think she did okay after that. Tyson said that, quote, her and her mother, quote, tried to kill me with those damn drugs. He said, the pills they were giving him. He said, I believe I'll never love anybody like I did Robin. Not with that kind of passion. I wouldn't want my worst enemy to feel this kind of pain. He saw her on TV a few years before that and been in love with her since then.
Really?
And then he met her and was like, that's the girl from TV. Holy shit.
He's like that
out.
psycho that sits and watches the news and falls in love with the weather girl and then fucking stalks her. Jesus Christ.
He saw her on head of the class again and was like, that's that girl. Yo, call, see if she wants to go out with me, because he was famous. So she did. October 26th, 1988, Tyson enters a partnership with Don King.
God damn it.
Oh, boy, there it all starts. Now, we're running out of time here, so we're going to have to cut it short of the Douglas fight on this and start out there. It's going to be a three-parter. We'll put it that way.
All right.
Let's end with a couple of things here. First of all, the Don King, the ultimate silver-haired middle-aged white man, Don King is the ultimate. I mean, it's like him and Vince McMahon and Dana White are all sitting on a cloud somewhere. Fucking throwing 1099s down in like a paper airplane. So this is an incident with Michael Jordan. Okay, it's Mike Tyson's longtime manager, Rory Holloway, said that this ended up happening. Tyson attended a dinner at a Chicago restaurant, and it was a dinner for Mike Ditka, who was the Bears' former head coach, obviously. And at this dinner was Richard Dent, who was the Super Bowl MVP in '85. Don King is there. Michael Jordan is there. Okay. It's a very heavy-hitting group here. It's especially Chicago. This is Chicago royalty.
Chicago sports royalty, right.
And the dinners, this is right after they were kind of getting divorced. Mike wasn't having good times at this moment. And it's at this point, Mike was sitting across from Michael Jordan. And he said that Mike was drinking a Long Island iced tea. And when Mike drinks, Mike gets a little off the chain with, you can't control Mike.
Yeah.
He said that Tyson knew that Jordan had dated Robin Givens at one point. Because they did back in like 85, I think. It was years ago. So Mike started letting Jordan fucking have it. He even talked shit about Ditka and Richard Dent as well in front of them right there. Yeah, he said, quote, this is, I think, the manager. I'm telling the server to water his drinks down because I can see where this is going. He said he was just mad dogging Jordan. He was staring at him like, I'm going to fuck this guy up. Like, he's like, I know that stare, and that's not good.
My God.
He said, Mike stares across the table at Michael Jordan. He says, hey, man, you think I'm stupid? I know you fucked with my bitch. That's what he says. He said, quote, Jordan looks like he just seen a ghost. I know you messed with her. You can tell me. Jordan's like, oh, shit. He said, quote, Jordan, it's obvious he just wants to get up and run.
Yeah.
He wants no part of this shit. He's not into drama. He wants no part of this, is what he says. Mike turns to Ditka. Quote, man, you think somebody's scared of you, all that racist shit you've been talking? That's what he said to Mike Ditka, because he's like, Mike Ditka, he calls him a racist.
Yeah.
Then he says to Richard Dent, quote, you all scared of this damn white man, Richard? He ain't nobody. You gonna let him talk that way? He's talking shit to everybody. So the guy says, quote, it was a circus, for real. Don King trying to change the subject. Me and John trying to hold Mike down. Mike telling everyone he's going to bust Jordan's ass. Jordan's dressed sharp as always, and he can't get out of there fast enough. He doesn't want to fight Mike fucking Tyson. He's not stupid. Gee, maybe he'll play him in one-on-one, but not throwing hands with him. There's another incident around this time. In the paper, in public, and in everything else, in court, Mike and Robin are fighting. They're also hooking up to fuck constantly. They have that kind of relationship where there's a physical relationship is there.
Yeah.
He said he was still going to Robin's house every day to have sex with her.
Oh, my God.
And she was like, telling him, you stopping by or what? Like, they were still fucking. He said at one point, he went to her house, and when he got there, he said the way he put it, quote, I was mad as hell. You should have seen his face when he saw me. He said, quote, I was due a divorce, but every day I would go to her house to have sex with her. This particular day, somebody beat me to the punch.
Oh, no.
I guess Brad Pitt got there earlier than I did. She was fucking Brad Pitt.
Wow.
Who got the fuck out of there so fast it's not even fucking funny.
Yeah.
He apparently,
have you seen his
dick
face?
hanging, swinging, still
he's got a lot
running.
to lose.
A lot to lose. And this was before he was even famous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just a pretty guy in Hollywood.
Like,
oh, man. November 17th, 88, Robin sues Mike Tyson. She says, I don't want to die in the divorce, but she's now suing him for $125 million for libel.
What?
That's how she said libel. She said that he defamed her by calling her slime and accusing her of stealing his money.
That's $125 million.
$125 million.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
I don't understand what planet she thinks that's $125 million. She said, you can only turn your cheek so many times. It's $100 million for punitive damages.
Oh, boy.
That is fucking wild. How did we know when I made the statements that the guy's going to libel her? All he has to do is shut up and he would have gotten everything he wanted. It's a question of personal dignity. This is her lawyer. We want to give him back his bloody money, and he makes that impossible. Huh. He makes it impossible. We have to sue him. Yeah. His team called the suit ludicrous, outrageous, and laughable. His manager said, here's a lady who takes her conduct and turns it around and tries to make it someone else's fault. She's aired her private life in public. She's attempted to demean and hurt Mike Tyson. She's told the public she doesn't want any money, and that's just false. So apparently it wasn't even her. Tyson called Givens and her mother, quote, the slime of the slime. He said, the nature of these two women is to be mean and vindictive. They stole money from me when we were together. She stole from me and said I beat her up. They tried to turn me into an imbecile. And so there's that. So there, all that shit's going on. Like we said, it turns out a $10 million settlement that's supposed to be kind of an overreaching thing here. So this is interesting. November 20th, 1988. That's the lawsuit again. I'm sorry. December 10th, 88, Mike fires Kevin Rooney, his longtime trainer. Mm-hmm. Fires him, and he called Robin and her mother witches.
So he fired him over that?
He fired him. He says, quote, I don't have a trainer now. That's the way I look at him. But you can really say that Kevin fired himself. It's over. All he said was that Tyson should start dating Robin Givens, his estranged wife, like joking around, ball breaking, and he fired him for it. So, I mean, hey, you work for the guy. What do you want? December 12th, 88, a jury finds Mike guilty of battery and fines him $100 for propositioning and insulting a woman at a New York nightclub, Sandra Miller. Later that night, from being found guilty in court, he went out to the club that night, Bentley's Disco Lounge, and apparently faces 2 charges from a woman named Lori Davis, who everybody says looks just like Robin Givens.
Oh, no.
Apparently they were she was dancing with a male partner. She said, Tyson put his hands under my dress and grabbed my behind.
Jesus.
I turned around and screamed at the man, try that again and I'll slap the shit out of you. And then at that point, she said she realized it was Tyson. And she said Tyson reacted by raising his hands in the air and said, whoa, okay, I've got a live one here.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
Most people just let him do that, is what that says. That's fucking insane.
I hope she's alive.
Oh, I got a live one here. Like, you grabbed a stranger's ass under her dress.
Right.
That's a pretty normal reaction. She said she walked away in the company of 2 other men. I was willing to set it aside until I read about the other woman in the newspaper, she said. So, she said that Tyson, the other woman said that he grabbed her buttocks and breasts and followed her to a jukebox that night. This is another woman that night, in addition to this one. So, by the way, Dexter Manley at this point said that attached in the same newspaper article, he said that offensive lineman guilty of holding should get 30 days in jail or 1 week being coached by Mike Ditka, which is a great fucking line. So the title of the thing of, he sexually molested this woman is, quote, Long Island woman says Tyson molested her, which is a terrible headline that you never want to see. Yeah. So there's that. And I guess we'll leave it off with that. We'll leave it off with Mike grabbing asses under fucking dresses in nightclubs.
Jesus, Mike.
And I was hoping we'd get to fucking Buster Douglas and all this, but we're not going to get there. We have so much to go in between. There's a lot of police interaction coming up, a lot going on. This is the set the table episode. Well, you had to set the table of who Mike is. You have to understand it. And if you weren't alive during that period, it's really difficult to figure it out of what he is. So we really had to explain. He is the main tabloid person there is. It's like the royal family and Mike Tyson are on the cover of every, one of these tabloid magazines. And Madonna and Sean Penn.
Right. And he was the first real sports superstar in terms of money. The very first.
He was making the most at that time. Yeah, absolutely. He was
Everybody
crushing
that
it.
was a star in anything wanted to be around Mike Tyson. So the spotlight never left him. Whether
he was a kid.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Child.
So anyway, that, everybody, is part one of Mike Tyson. Going to be 3 parts on this one. So first of 3 parts of Mike Tyson. And there he is. If you like the show, give us a call. Get on Apple Podcasts and tell us you like it. Tell whatever app you're on. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what the hell you're listening on. So do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now for everything, all of your merchandise. We have tons of different stuff. Patreon this week is a good one. You're going to want to get on Patreon. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. We do it about twice a year for Crime and Sports Patreon episode. Personal ads.
Hell yeah.
Crazy personal ads from newspapers across time. And we're going to read those. They're hilarious always.
There's a little curveball
and then
in it. Yeah.
At the end, we are going to give you our own personal ads that we have written for each other. What would we put in the newspaper in 1988 if we were looking for a mate for our friend?
Yeah.
What would we do? And we're going to put him out there. I'm going to sell Jimmie hard. I'm telling you, I think he's got a lot of qualities that ladies are going to like.
The ladies won't like.
I'm going to sell you hard. He's rock hard. That's the last line. He's always rock hard. So we are going to do that. Then for Small Town Murders, which you have access to, anybody $5 or above has access to every damn stitch of Patreon, the whole back catalog, everything, both shows. We are going to talk about, based on the documentary on Amazon right now, the Lula Rich documentary about LuLaRoe's multi-level marketing pyramid scheme and all that shit. We're going to talk about that in comparison to cults. We've talked about like this in a cult and that in a cult. Now we're going to talk about multi-level marketing and how they try to make it a cult, basically, and you don't need religion. Religion isn't needed for cult. You just need something to worship, whether it's a person,
common
an idea, something, and then
put on a pedestal.
We want to show the common pattern that these all do to bring you all to the same place of crazy loyalty where you feel like you can't be a person if you're not a part of this. So we'll talk about that. Multi-level marketing, how it relates to cults, and is it a cult? And I think it's a cult. And we'll talk about all that and the Lula Rich documentary, which is great. So check all that out. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. $5, you get all the shows, the whole back catalog, the whole deal.
Yep.
And Jimmie's going to give you a shout out here in a minute because, God damn it, we appreciate you. And we have to tell you so. So we're going to do that. And also social media. If you want to follow us on social media, at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. That said, God damn it, Jimmie. I need to hear the list of my favorite fucking people on earth who are going to show me love, Jimmie. Where are these people? Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Matt Withrow, Tanner Levering, April Matthews, Zach Weir, and his wife. We're doing a 20-hour road trip with us.
Holy shit.
That's bananas. Steven Stadler,
Good luck.
Johnny and Stephanie's first anniversary. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Happy anniversary. Devin Buckley. Chrissy Ann Castaldi's coming back through. Thank you, Chrissy.
Hey,
it's good to
thanks,
hear from
Chrissy.
you.
Good to talk to you again.
Benny Nielsen just got 10 years of back pay, so he donated to us. Congrats,
Thank
Benny.
you. I thought you were going to say just got 10 years in the pen or something. Just got 10 years, and he's got nothing to do with his money. He has no kids, so he's going to give it up.
Congratulations, Benny.
Thanks.
Enjoy your time.
Thanks, Benny.
Jordan Bennett, of course.
We love Jordan. And
Justin Hewitt, James, has a girlfriend, Danielle Zwisler. And
it wouldn't be the same if you didn't mispronounce her name. So
they love the show, but he loves her more than the show.
Really?
And he's tired of calling her his girlfriend, and he'd love to call her his wife.
Would he? Would you marry him?
Will you marry Justin Hewitt for us, Danielle?
Will you marry Justin?
We would really. The deal's forever, though, just so you know.
Well, I mean.
But he's a pretty good guy.
Obviously.
Pretty good guy.
He's a good guy.
He is.
He tell you what, I'm going to make a guarantee on his behalf right now. I don't know them well, but I guarantee you he's not going to break out your windows and throw all the furniture out one piece at a time like Mike Tyson or something like that. That he's not going to do. But so marry Justin
if he's not a good guy, you now know how to burn bodies. The burning is a bad idea. Wood chipper is my suggestion.
Wood chipper, deep somewhere, not near your house. There's a lot of ways to do it, but either way,
keep us posted.
You should marry Justin.
Yeah, congratulations if she says yes, and if no, she says no, drink heavily.
Sorry we ruined your relationship if she says no.
Good luck. Keep it posted.
Good luck.
Other producers this week are just Josh Brooks. He just got married, so it worked out for him. Kelsey Couts, Thomas Smith, Rabbi Shmulovich, Shitta Perlman, Corporal Carl Kirshner, Christine McGregor in Glasgow, Peyton.
All the regulars.
The regulars. Peyton Meadows, Hudson Whiskey, and Bob. Their pups over at Centeno Kennels in Canada. James Martyr.
Get your puppies.
Teresa Summers, Michelle Miller up in Flagstaff, I think.
I know her.
Steve
nice
Schnell,
lady.
She's fantastic. Bill McClellan just turned
another great lady. Or not great lady.
Steve Schnell
sorry,
is a wonderful lady.
He would love that. I said he would laugh his ass. He would put his head back and go ha 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 ha, and then he'd give you a hug. I love that fucking guy.
Sweetheart of a lady. Bill McClellan turned 40. Happy birthday, Bill. Take your vitamins. Frank the South African bird washer, Jamie Harris, Ashley Long, Janice Hild, Matthew Webster, Sarah Surridge, Sean Tucker, Beaver Whore Quigley, Amanda Jacobs,
Sweet.
Sean Mariani, Boy, oh boy, that's a tough one. Chanel Hale and Stephen Jennings. Travis Croxford said to tell you, sorry, James. He engaged you on Twitter, and it didn't work out the way he expected. But he apologized and donated.
That'll happen. I remember that.
Yeah,
he was fine. He was a nice guy. It's fine. He's a good guy. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Real good guy. Misty Jeter, Brian Killian, Katie Brady's sister Eileen had a birthday, and she wanted us to send her a video, but it was just impossible. So happy birthday, Eileen. You're a wonderful lady.
Definitely.
It says your sister. Danny Faber.
And us. Us.
We believe it. Job Nielsen, Sarah Lewis, Stacy Finnegan, Meredith with no last name. I imagine that is whore. Patrice Plowden, Riley Hoare, Colin Dunn, Jen Hoare, Aubrey Million, by the way.
Quickly, we've had questions.
We have to explain that.
Somebody, their last name was HOAR, and I was like, whore, and we tried for 10 minutes to figure out how to say it, and we were like, whore is the only way it's being said.
Yeah.
So somehow it was, we were talking, it was like, well, just give people with no last name, we'll call them whore, right. HOAR. So that's what it is. We're not calling you a whore. No. We're saying your last name is HOAR.
It's a very funny last name. And you can't pronounce it any other way because it's like extra, impossible. It's insulting.
I went, whore? It's still whore. It's still whore. I'm sorry.
It's still whore. Aubrey Million, Kelsey Nichols, Anthony Coleman, Nathan Hoseman, Henry Wentland, Quiche whore, Christine Fisher, Nick Watson, Jackie Beneke, Lori Brennan, Doug Cicero, Matthew McWilliams, Mike Sullinger, Amanda Dea, Robin DeGregorio. That's the one. Eddie Petunia, Erica Norris, Pia, Elizabeth, Haim, Fladseth. There's no way anybody making up a name would pick that one, so that's got to be real. Kelly Perry, Rodney Hoare, Casey Doble, Shia Radin, Asher Pearson Parker, Ryan McMine, Cody Brown, Travis Yudnick, boy oh boy, Marie Hoare, Chris Johnson, Jeru Hoare, John Beringa. Michael Long, Blake McClanahan, Gavi Ramento, Steelheart Hoare, Ashley James, Hunter Rowe, Cheyenne Martin, Caitlin Gonzalez, Isabel Hoare, Jade Adair, J. Joaquim Mbop.
Steelheart Whore sounds like a country singer.
It's
like
fantastic.
I'm the Steelheart Whore. That's like Dolly's alter ego when she'd dress in all black. They call me Steelheart Whore, and then she'd start yodeling. Yeah.
Andrea Egger, Max Abstract, Sean Easley, Chris Fryer, Megan Moorhead, Josh Briggs, Lisa Knutson, Krista Martin, Donald Anderson with an E. That's a tough one. Jeremy Potts, Henry Perez, Ian Dixon. Yep, that's right. Elma Nelson, Velvet Kitty. All right. Christina Carita, Lauren Mullins, Marika Mutton, all dolled up 16. That's gross. Casey McGuire, the Bush Godna of Oz. What? Mallory Sears, Black Guaylo, Carrie Gray, Kate Hoare, Rowdy Hurst, Jonathan Garcia, Derek Hoare, Emily Loken, David Wood, Diane Plant, Melanie Clark, Amber Hoare, no name at all. Like, literally didn't put a name. But Key Seed is in the name of their email address. I want to give somebody the credit. It's very nice of you. I can't thank you enough. Suzanne Figley, Kim Tanner, April Hoare, Colin Lund, Kenny
April
Scott.
Hoare. Very aggressive.
Jessica Rose, Bonnie Eilerman, Cody Bush, Devin Smith, Haley Malone, Kenny Clay, Derek Roberts, Miss Peachy Lady, Miranda Williams, Dexter Hoare, David Dow, Brandon Soder Penner, Kelly Ahrens, Tyler Baxke, nope, Nicole Baucamp, Colleen Rocon Gillespie, Post Punk Mama, Ashley Revelle, Christy Nepshield, Scarlet Whorebeast. I love when people do that. Raquel Wakefield, great. Brian, Martirana, Kendall Vieland, King Nawaka, Kevin Walker, Chantella McKay, Haley Kaler, Charles Perry, Ryan Mack, Hunter Tarosky, Tim Brunk, Chef David Satterwhite, Mark Andre Theobald, Christoph Zakis, Scott Paquette, Dennis Vargas, Mitzi Hargett, Beast Mode 985, Mike Laheda, Ashley Revel, Morgan with no last name, Hoare, Brandon Adams, Kendra Mans, Ian Moy, Tiago Duarte, Gray Jungle Chicken, Sarah Zhang, Megan McDonald, Chris Jameson, Jody Marriott, Heidi Hoare, Sean Hoare, Whitney Z. Hoare, Chris Mead, Andrew Glover, Robbie Sman II, Daniel Rousseau, Dathan Grace, Sue
Daniel
Hoare.
Russo?
Yes.
Oh, it's LaRusso.
You're right. Sue Hoare, Misha Hoare, Luke Sharp, Christina Branson, Brianna Hoare, Linda Thuft, Lee Noteman, Janice, that's Jamie Gibson, Alicia C. Hoare, Bobby Jones, Lewis Johnston, Rippy Raptor, Andrew Willett, Mike Breezy, Susan Wilkins, Brittany Van Dusen, Lisa Murcutt, Michelle Jarvie, Justin Kelly, Robert White, Chris Longhurst, Ryder Matthias, Bailey J. Hoare, Jessica Ewing, Dalton Thurman, Joey Hoare. That's for real. Last name Hoare. Sarah Sambor, and all of our patrons. You guys are the most fantastic. Thank you, you bunch of whores.
You really are, you silly, silly whores. We love you to death. Thank you so much for everything that you do for
amazing,
us.
Truly.
It really is. You're the best, and we really do appreciate everything you do for us. So thank you so much, and from the bottom of our hearts for it all, really. And we hope marriage proposals work out and everything goes well with the shout-outs.
Go
Jimmy,
get it, Justin.
What if somebody wanted to tell you how their marriage proposal worked out? How could they possibly find you?
You can report back to me at Whisman Sucks on Instagram and Twitter. What about you?
You can find me at Jimmie P is funny, or you can just copy. You know what you do? Yeah. Never mind all of that. Yeah. Just Google Crime and Sports, and you hosts, and we'll pop up, and it'll have all of our
big
info.
Dumb Face will be right
linked
there.
To everything.
Yeah.
Our big stupid heads will be there. It'll be beautiful. Check it out, and we will appreciate you doing that because we appreciate you hanging out with us. Come back next week for Mike Tyson. Part 2. We will be back of a 3-part series. Yeah. It's going to be Tyson Take 2
of the trilogy.
That's right. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you. the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.